Are you ready to unlock the secrets of success? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into a treasure trove of wisdom that has transformed millions of lives. In this video series, we'll explore 9 game-changing books that will revolutionize your mindset, habits, and approach to life. From Napoleon Hill's timeless classic, Think and Grow Rich, to Stephen Bartlett's modern masterpiece, The Diary of a CEO, we've got your personal growth covered. We'll unpack the ancient wisdom of the richest man in Babylon, decode Simon Sinek's Start with Why, and rewire your brain with the code of the extraordinary mind. Want to build unstoppable habits? James Clear's Atomic Habits and Brendan Burchard's High Performance Habits have got you covered. And if you're looking to cut through the noise, Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck will be your new best friend. Finally, we'll discover the Japanese secret to a meaningful life with Ikigai. Get ready to transform your life, one book at a time. Let's begin this extraordinary journey together. What if I told you the secret to building wealth wasn't luck, talent, or even hard work, but something far more powerful, hidden in plain sight? A century ago, a man named Napoleon Hill cracked the code to success by studying the habits of the world's richest people, from Andrew Carnegie to Henry Ford. What he discovered rewired the minds of millions and got buried under decades of self-help cliches. This isn't about positive vibes or grinding yourself to dust. This is about rewriting your brain to attract money, power, and freedom, using 13 ruthless principles that turn ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Stick around, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you think you know about success, and your life will never be the same. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is a seminal work in personal development, distilled from 2 decades of research into the habits of over 500 successful individuals, including industrialists like Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and Henry Ford. Published in 1937 during the Great Depression, the book transcends its era by offering timeless principles for achieving wealth, success, and personal fulfillment. At its core, Hill's philosophy asserts that thoughts are the foundation of reality, and by mastering one's mental focus, anyone can unlock extraordinary potential. The book outlines 13 principles that serve as a blueprint for transforming desire into tangible riches, emphasizing mindset, persistence, and strategic action. The power of desire. The journey to riches begins with a burning desire, a white-hot obsession that transcends mere wishing. Hill insists that vague aspirations yield vague results. Instead, one must crystallize their goal into a definite purpose. For example, if financial wealth is the aim, specify the exact amount, the timeline for achieving it, and what you're willing to exchange for it, e.g., time, skills, or services. This clarity imprints the goal into the subconscious mind, aligning thoughts and actions toward its attainment. Hill illustrates this with the story of Edwin Barnes, who clung to his desire to partner with Thomas Edison despite starting as a low-paid laborer. Barnes's unwavering focus and persistence eventually led to a lucrative business relationship, proving that whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Faith, the mental alchemy. Faith acts as the bridge between desire and reality. Hill defines it as a state of mind cultivated through auto-suggestion, repeated affirmations that program the subconscious to expect success. To build unshakable faith, one must visualize the desired outcome as already achieved. For instance, writing a detailed statement of your goal and reciting it aloud twice daily reinforces belief. Hill warns against negative thoughts, which sabotage progress by embedding doubt. Instead, Adopt the as-if principle. Act, speak, and think as though your goal is inevitable. This mental discipline rewires the brain to recognize opportunities and solutions aligned with your purpose. Autosuggestion, programming the subconscious. Autosuggestion is the practice of feeding the subconscious mind with positive, goal-oriented thoughts. Hill compares the subconscious to fertile soil. Plant seeds of desire, faith, and persistence, and they will grow into tangible results. To harness this, create a daily ritual of reading affirmations, visualizing success, and rejecting negativity. For example, repeating, "I am capable of earning $100,000 annually through disciplined effort," primes the mind to seek income-generating opportunities. Hill stresses consistency as the subconscious absorbs habits over time. This principle underpins modern concepts like the law of attraction, where focused intention attracts corresponding outcomes. Specialized knowledge, the path to mastery. General knowledge, while valuable, rarely leads to wealth. Hill argues that specialized knowledge, expertise in a niche, is the true currency of success. This involves identifying gaps in your field, acquiring targeted skills through education or mentorship, and applying them strategically. For example, Henry Ford's mastery of automobile manufacturing, combined with his ability to delegate non-specialized tasks, propelled him to industry dominance. Hill advises assembling a mastermind alliance, a group of advisors with complementary expertise, to fill knowledge gaps and refine strategies. The key is applying knowledge through actionable plans, as knowledge is only potential power until directed toward a purpose. Imagination, the workshop of innovation. Hill divides imagination into synthetic, combining existing ideas, and creative, generating novel concepts. Both are essential for problem-solving and innovation. For instance, Walt Disney used synthetic imagination to adapt existing storytelling techniques into animated films, while creative imagination birthed entirely new characters like Mickey Mouse. To stimulate imagination, Hill recommends daily brainstorming sessions, questioning assumptions, and exploring what-if scenarios. He also highlights the role of sex transmutation, redirecting sexual energy into creative pursuits as a catalyst for heightened focus and productivity. Organized planning, blueprint for action. A burning desire without a plan is merely a daydream. Hill outlines a 4-step planning process. Define the goal with precision. Identify resources, skills, capital, networks, and gaps. Assemble a mastermind group to advise and execute. Establish timelines and milestones. For example, an entrepreneur aiming to launch a tech startup might partner with software developers, marketers, and financiers, meeting weekly to refine prototypes and secure funding. Hill emphasizes flexibility. Plans should evolve with new information while maintaining core objectives. He also advises writing plans in detail, as the physical act of writing engages the subconscious and reinforces commitment. Decision, the antidote to procrastination. Successful individuals make decisions swiftly and alter them slowly. Hill observes that indecision breeds missed opportunities, while decisiveness, even imperfect, creates momentum. For instance, Amazon's Jeff Bezos prioritized rapid decision-making, accepting that some choices would fail, but trusting course corrections. To cultivate decisiveness, Hill recommends setting a 24-hour rule. Research options thoroughly, then commit. Avoid analysis paralysis by recognizing that no decision is a decision to stagnate. Persistence. Sustaining momentum. Persistence is the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Hill attributes 98% of failures to a lack of persistence, noting that breakthroughs often follow moments of despair. To build this trait, he proposes a 7-step action plan: definiteness of purpose, reaffirm your why; desire, maintain obsession with the goal; self-reliance, trust your ability to problem solve; definiteness of plans, follow a structured roadmap; accurate knowledge, base decisions on facts, not fear; cooperation, leverage master; mind encouragement, willpower, focus on incremental progress. Thomas Edison's 10,000 attempts to invent the light bulb exemplify persistence. Each failure refined his approach until success became inevitable. The mastermind, collective intelligence. A mastermind group is a brain trust of individuals who share knowledge, critique ideas, and hold each other accountable. Hill credits Andrew Carnegie's Steel Empire to his collaboration with chemists, engineers, and financiers. Modern equivalents include mastermind cohorts, advisory boards, and peer networks. The key is reciprocity. Each member should offer unique value, whether expertise, resources, or encouragement. Regular meetings, ideally weekly, ensure alignment and momentum. Sex transmutation, channeling energy. Hill controversially posits that sexual energy, when redirected, fuels creativity and drive. He argues that supreme achievement often correlates with periods of intense focus unclouded by sexual dissipation. For example, athletes and artists frequently report peak performance during celibacy or disciplined energy management. Transmutation involves sublimating primal urges into productive outlets like business innovation, artistic creation, or physical training. Hill advises mindfulness practices and goal alignment to harness this energy. The subconscious mind, gateway to infinite intelligence. The subconscious mind acts as a bridge between human thought and universal intelligence. By embedding desires into the subconscious through auto-suggestion, one taps into a sixth sense, intuitive insights that guide decision-making. Hill likens this to prayer. Focused thoughts, imbued with emotion, attract corresponding realities. For instance, Steve Jobs attributed Apple's design breakthroughs to intuitive dots connecting after years of subconscious processing. To access this, Hill recommends meditation, journaling, and environmental control to minimize negative stimuli. The brain, a broadcasting station. Thoughts emit vibrational frequencies that attract compatible people, opportunities, and resources. Hill urges readers to tune their mental broadcasts by maintaining positivity and purpose. Negative thoughts, fear, jealousy, doubt, scramble this signal, repelling success. Modern neuroscience supports this, showing that optimistic individuals activate brain regions linked to problem-solving and resilience. Practical steps include curating media intake, practicing gratitude, and surrounding oneself with uplifting influences. The sixth sense. Intuitive wisdom. The sixth sense is subconscious, intuition honed through experience and mental discipline. Hill describes it as a doorway to the temple of wisdom, offering flashes of insight that defy logical analysis. For example, Oprah Winfrey often credits her success to following gut feelings about interviews or business ventures. To develop this, reflect on past decisions where intuition proved accurate and create quiet time daily for reflection. Hill warns against over-rationalization, which stifles intuitive guidance. Overcoming the 6 ghosts of fear. Fear is the greatest barrier to wealth. Hill identifies 7 core fears: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. These manifest as procrastination, self-doubt, and excuses. To conquer them, Acknowledge fears through journaling, reframe narratives, replace "I might fail" with "I'll learn." Take incremental action. Courage builds through small wins. Adopt a wealth mindset. Focus on abundance, not scarcity. For instance, J.K. Rowling overcame poverty and rejection by persisting with Harry Potter, viewing each no as a step closer to yes. In conclusion, the philosophy of achievement. Think and Grow Rich is not a get-rich-quick manual, but a psychology of success. Its principles, desire, faith, persistence, and mastermind collaboration remain relevant in the digital age. Modern entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Sarah Blakely exemplify Hill's tenets, leveraging obsession, adaptability, and intuitive risk-taking. The book's enduring power lies in its universal truth. Riches begin in the mind. By mastering thoughts, aligning actions, and persisting through adversity, anyone can transcend limitations and achieve extraordinary wealth, financial, emotional, and spiritual. Yet, here's the brutal truth the system doesn't want you to know. Wealth isn't a lottery, it's a choice. Those 13 principles, they're not magic. They're a psychological warfare manual against mediocrity, tested by titans like Carnegie and Ford, and proven by thousands who've escaped the 9-to-5 grind. The question isn't whether these laws work, it's whether you have the guts to weaponize them. Will you keep scrolling, clinging to excuses, or will you burn the ships, reprogram your mind, and claim the life you've been brainwashed to think you don't deserve? The clock's ticking. Your empire starts now, or it never does. You decide. Imagine a city so wealthy, its streets were paved with gold, a place where even the humblest citizen could unlock the secrets of prosperity and build a fortune that spanned generations. This wasn't a myth. It was Babylon, the crown jewel of the ancient world. But here's the twist. Babylon's riches weren't reserved for kings or conquerors. They were forged by ordinary people, craftsmen, merchants, even former slaves, who cracked a code so powerful it still works today. 2,000 years ago, this code transformed paupers into princes. Now, it's about to transform you. What if I told you the key to financial freedom isn't hidden in Wall Street algorithms or modern hustle culture? It's buried in ancient clay tablets, waiting to rewrite your relationship with money. This is the story of the richest man in Babylon, a book that sold millions by revealing truths so simple, they're revolutionary. But be warned. These lessons aren't shortcuts. They're not about crypto, side hustles, or viral fame. They're about discipline, patience, and outsmarting the traps that keep 99% of people stuck in debt, stress, and paycheck-to-paycheck survival. If you're ready to discover how a slave became a landlord, how a scribe out-earned kings, and why your lean purse might be the key to a life of abundance, let's step into the shadows of Babylon's hanging gardens and uncover the timeless laws of gold. The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. Introduction to Babylon and the Timeless Wisdom of Wealth. The ancient city of Babylon, once the wealthiest in the world, serves as the backdrop for George S. Clason's timeless financial parable, The Richest Man in Babylon. Known for its prosperity, innovation, and sophisticated understanding of money, Babylon's success was rooted in principles that remain strikingly relevant today. Clason's book, first published in 1926, distills these principles into a series of engaging stories centered on characters navigating financial struggles, triumphs, and lessons. Through the journey of Arkad, a humble scribe who becomes the richest man in Babylon, and others like him, Clason reveals universal truths about building and preserving wealth. The book's enduring appeal lies in its simplicity. It strips away modern complexities to focus on foundational habits that anyone, in any era, can apply to achieve financial freedom. At its core, the book challenges readers to rethink their relationship with money. Babylon's citizens didn't rely on luck or abstract theories. They followed disciplined practices that transformed their labor into lasting prosperity. Clayson emphasizes that wealth isn't about fleeting riches, but about cultivating habits that ensure steady growth and security. The stories are structured as parables, blending narrative charm with actionable advice, making complex financial concepts accessible. Whether you're struggling with debt, striving to save, or seeking to grow your investments, the lessons from Babylon offer a blueprint for transforming your financial destiny. The book's central message is clear. Financial success is not reserved for the privileged few. It is achievable for anyone willing to embrace discipline, education, and patience. By exploring the lives of ordinary Babylonians, craftsmen, merchants, and even former slaves, Clayson demonstrates that wealth building is a deliberate process. The principles of saving, investing wisely, and avoiding unnecessary risks are universal, transcending time and culture. As we delve into the key sections of the book, we'll uncover how these ancient strategies can be adapted to modern life, empowering readers to take control of their financial futures. The foundation of wealth. Pay yourself first. The journey to wealth begins with a simple yet transformative rule: pay yourself first. In the book's opening parable, two friends, Bansir the chariot builder and Kobi the musician, lament their lifelong poverty despite years of hard work. They seek advice from their childhood friend Arkad, now the wealthiest man in Babylon, who reveals that the secret to his success lies in prioritizing savings. Arkad explains that most people pay everyone else, landlords, merchants, tailors, before themselves, leaving nothing to build wealth. His breakthrough came when he committed to saving at least 10% of his income before spending on anything else. This principle, often called the first cure for a lean purse, is the cornerstone of financial stability. By treating savings as a non-negotiable expense, Arkad ensured his purse grew steadily over time. Clayson uses vivid metaphors to drive this point home. Every gold coin saved becomes a slave, working to generate more wealth. The initial sacrifice of living on 90% of one's income might seem challenging, but it cultivates discipline and forces creativity in managing expenses. Over time, the accumulated savings create a foundation for investments, emergencies, and opportunities. The psychological impact of this habit is equally profound. Saving instills a sense of control and purpose, shifting one's mindset from scarcity to abundance. Arkad's story illustrates that wealth isn't about earning more, but about retaining and multiplying what you earn. Modern readers can apply this by automating savings, setting clear financial goals, and resisting the temptation to inflate their lifestyle with every raise. By making savings a ritual, you build a reservoir of resources that can withstand economic downturns and fuel future growth. Mastering expenditures, living below your means. A common pitfall in wealth building is allowing expenses to rise alongside income. Clayson addresses this through Arkad's second lesson: control thy expenditures. Many of Babylon's citizens, like Bansir and Kobi, earned decent wages but spent every coin on immediate desires, leaving nothing for the future. Arkad warns that unchecked spending is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. No matter how much you earn, you'll never accumulate wealth. The solution lies in budgeting and distinguishing between needs and wants. Clayson's characters learn to live on 90%, or less, of their income by scrutinizing every expense. This doesn't mean living frugally, but rather aligning spending with long-term priorities. For example, the book advises against luxury purchases that provide fleeting satisfaction, but derail financial goals. Instead, Babylonians focused on value, investing in quality goods that lasted and avoiding debt for non-essentials. This principle resonates deeply in today's consumer-driven society. The rise of credit cards and buy now, pay later schemes has made overspending easier than ever. Classomon's antidote is mindfulness, regularly tracking expenses, negotiating better deals, and avoiding impulsive purchases. By creating a budget that prioritizes savings and necessities, individuals can break the cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living. The key takeaway is that financial freedom isn't about deprivation. It's about making intentional choices that align with your wealth-building vision. Making money work for you. The power of investment. Saving alone isn't enough. Wealth grows when money is put to work. Arkad's third lesson, Make Thy Gold Multiply, introduces the concept of investment. Early in his career, Arkad saved diligently but made the mistake of entrusting his savings to a brickmaker who promised high returns on a dubious jewelry scheme. The venture failed, teaching Arkad a critical lesson. Investments must be guided by knowledge and caution. Clayson emphasizes that successful investing requires education and prudence. Babylon's wealthy consulted experts, studied markets, and diversified their portfolios. For instance, Arkad later invested in land, livestock, and trade ventures, ensuring his gold generated passive income. The book warns against get-rich-quick schemes, advocating instead for steady, well-researched opportunities. A recurring theme is the importance of compound interest, the children of saved gold that earn their own income over time. Modern investors can apply these principles by prioritizing low-risk, long-term investments like index funds, real estate, or dividend-paying stocks. The story of Arkad's son, Nomasir, reinforces this. After squandering his inheritance on reckless ventures, Nomasir rebuilds his wealth by following his father's 5 laws of gold, which stress patience and due diligence. Clayson's message is clear. Wealth grows when you let time and compounding work in your favor, not when you chase fleeting trends. Guarding wealth. Avoiding loss and managing risk. The fourth lesson, Guard thy treasures from loss, underscores the importance of protecting capital. Babylon's merchants understood that preserving wealth is as crucial as growing it. The book recounts tales of individuals who lost fortunes by trusting unreliable partners or venturing into unfamiliar markets. For example, Arkad's initial loss with the brickmaker taught him to vet opportunities rigorously and seek advice from experienced mentors. Clayson advocates for a balanced approach to risk. While all investments carry some uncertainty, the wealthy of Babylon minimized losses by sticking to what they knew. They avoided high-stakes gambles and instead focused on ventures with predictable returns. The book also highlights the role of insurance and emergency funds in safeguarding against unforeseen disasters. By preparing for the worst, Babylonians ensured that temporary setbacks didn't erase years of progress. In today's context, this translates to diversifying investments, maintaining an emergency fund, and avoiding speculative assets like meme stocks or unregulated cryptocurrencies. The parable of Rodan, a spearmaker who lends money to his sister's struggling husband, illustrates the dangers of emotional decision-making. Mathon, a wise gold lender, advises Rodan to secure loans with collateral and assess the borrower's capacity to repay. This lesson reminds modern readers to separate personal relationships from financial decisions and prioritize objective risk assessment, home ownership, and long-term security. The fifth cure, make of thy dwelling a profitable investment, champions homeownership as a pillar of financial stability. In Babylon, owning property was seen not just as a status symbol, but as a strategic move to build equity and reduce living costs. Renters, Clayson argues, pour money into landlords' purses instead of their own, while homeowners build assets that appreciate over time. The book acknowledges that purchasing a home requires discipline, saving for a down payment, maintaining the property, and avoiding excessive debt. However, the long-term benefits far outweigh the sacrifices. Homeownership provides stability, tax advantages, and a hedge against inflation. For Babylon's citizens, it also symbolized a commitment to their community and future generations. Modern readers can relate to this through the current housing market, where rising rents and property values make ownership challenging. Clayson's advice encourages prospective buyers to start small, live within their means, and prioritize locations with growth potential. The story of Dabasir, a former slave who methodically pays off debts and saves for a home, exemplifies how incremental progress leads to lasting security. By viewing a home as both a sanctuary and an investment, individuals can align their housing choices with their financial goals. Planning for the future, retirement, and legacy. The sixth lesson, ensure a future income, addresses the need for long-term planning. Babylon's wealthy recognize that earning capacity diminishes with age, making it essential to build streams of passive income. Characters like Shahrunada, a merchant prince, emphasize the importance of investing in ventures that generate reliable returns, such as rental properties or businesses managed by trusted partners. Clayson also introduces the concept of legacy planning. Arkad, for instance, refuses to leave his son Nomasir a large inheritance without first testing his financial acumen. Instead, he provides Nomasir with a bag of gold and the 5 laws of gold, challenging him to prove his worth over a decade. This parable underscores that wealth preservation requires education and discipline, not mere entitlement. For modern audiences, this translates to maximizing retirement accounts, e.g., 401ks, IRAs, investing in dividend stocks, and creating estate plans. The book warns against relying solely on pensions or government aid, urging individuals to take personal responsibility for their futures. By starting early and consistently contributing to retirement funds, readers can ensure a comfortable and autonomous old age. Increasing earning capacity, education, and skill building. The final cure, increase thy ability to earn, ties wealth building to self-improvement. Clayson argues that financial success begins with personal growth, honing skills, expanding knowledge, and seeking opportunities. Arkad's rise from a lowly scribe to a wealthy merchant exemplifies this. By studying under Algamish, a shrewd moneylender, and mastering the art of financial management, Arkad transformed his fortunes. The book encourages readers to view education as an investment. Learning new skills, whether in trade, finance, or leadership, enhances earning potential and opens doors to higher income opportunities. Characters like Shahrunada, who escaped slavery through ingenuity and hard work, demonstrate that perseverance and adaptability are key to overcoming adversity. In today's fast-paced economy, continuous learning is more critical than ever. Clayson's advice aligns with modern trends like upskilling, networking, and entrepreneurial ventures. By dedicating time to professional development and staying attuned to market demands, individuals can command higher salaries, launch successful businesses, and secure their financial futures. The 5 laws of gold. Principles for sustained wealth. Beyond the 7 cures, Clayson introduces the 5 laws of gold through the story of Nomasir, Arkad's son. These laws, inscribed on clay tablets, offer a framework for managing inherited wealth. Gold comes gladly to those who save. Consistent saving, even small amounts, attracts more wealth through discipline and opportunity. Gold labors diligently for the wise owner. Invested money multiplies when guided by knowledge and patience. Gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner. Preserve capital by avoiding reckless risks and seeking expert advice. Gold slips away from unfamiliar ventures. Stick to investments you understand. Ignorance leads to loss. Gold flees from impossible schemes. Reject get-rich-quick promises. Sustainable growth requires time. Nomasia's journey, from squandering his inheritance to rebuilding wealth through these laws, illustrates their transformative power. Modern investors can apply them by prioritizing low-risk, diversified portfolios and resisting the allure of speculative trends. Overcoming debt. The road to financial freedom. Clayson dedicates significant attention to debt management, a challenge as relevant today as in ancient Babylon. The parable of Dabasaya, a camel trader enslaved by debt, offers a step-by-step recovery plan. Acknowledge the problem. Dabasir admits his mistakes and commits to change. Live on 70% of income. Allocate 20% to debt repayment and 10% to savings. Negotiate with creditors. Transparent communication builds trust and flexibility. Avoid new debt. Focus on cash purchases and emergency funds. Dabasir's success, freeing himself from debt and rebuilding his reputation, highlights the importance of discipline and transparency. Modern readers can adapt this by consolidating high-interest debt, creating repayment plans, and prioritizing financial counseling. The role of luck and opportunity. Clayson acknowledges that luck plays a role in wealth building, but argues that it favors the prepared. The parable of Sharu Nada, a merchant who escapes slavery through ingenuity, shows that luck often arises from recognizing and seizing opportunities. By staying informed, networking, and maintaining a strong work ethic, Babylonians positioned themselves to capitalize on favorable circumstances. The book cautions against passive waiting for luck. Instead, it urges proactive steps, saving, learning, and investing, to create conditions where luck can thrive. This aligns with modern concepts like creating your own luck through preparation and resilience. Conclusion: the timelessness of Babylonian wisdom. The richest man in Babylon endures because its lessons are rooted in human behavior, not fleeting economic trends. Claeson's parables remind us that wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring patience, education, and self-discipline. Whether you're a novice saver or a seasoned investor, the book's principles, paying yourself first, living below your means, and making informed investments, offer a roadmap to financial independence. In an era of instant gratification and complex financial products, Babylon's simplicity is revolutionary. By embracing these ancient strategies, modern readers can navigate economic uncertainties, build lasting security, and create legacies that transcend generations. The path to wealth isn't shrouded in mystery. It's paved with the timeless wisdom of those who mastered money centuries ago. As the sun sets over Babylon's legendary walls, remember this: the gold in its vaults has long vanished, but its true treasure remains, the unshakable laws of wealth that outlasted empires. These aren't dusty old rules, they're a challenge to stop blaming the economy, your job, or bad luck, and to start building your own empire, coin by coin, choice by choice. Akkad didn't stumble onto riches. Dabasir didn't pray his way out of debt. They fought for their freedom with the fiercest weapon of all: discipline. Today, that same power is in your hands. Will you waste it on fleeting wants, or plant seeds that grow into forests of gold. The richest people in history, from Babylonian merchants to modern tycoons, all share one secret. They respected money enough to master it. Now it's your turn. Your journey won't be carved on clay tablets, but in the life you build. So tell me, when future generations walk through the ruins of your legacy, what will your walls say about you? Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Why do some leaders and organizations ignite movements, while others fizzle out in obscurity? Why do brands like Apple command cult-like loyalty, while competitors with identical products struggle to be remembered? The answer isn't charisma, luck, or even innovation. It's a question buried deep in the human psyche. Why does any of this matter? In Start With Why, Simon Sinek cracks the code behind history's most influential leaders and brands, revealing a universal truth. Lasting success begins not with what you do, but why you do it. This isn't theory, it's biology. Our brains are wired to crave purpose, to rally behind beliefs, not bullet points. From Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream of equality to the Wright brothers' obsession with flight, this book uncovers how a single primal question separates fleeting trends from legacies that outlive their creators. Strap in. We're about to rewrite everything you thought you knew about leadership, loyalty, and the invisible force that moves millions. Simon Sinek's Start With Why redefines leadership, innovation, and organizational success by centering on a singular truth. Lasting impact begins with purpose. The book dismantles conventional strategies focused on features, benefits, or competition, arguing instead that the world's most influential leaders and institutions, from Apple to the civil rights movement, succeed because they lead with why they exist. This purpose-driven approach transcends industries and eras, creating movements that outlive products and profits. Over the next 7,500 words, we'll unpack Sinek's philosophy, explore its scientific and psychological foundations, and reveal how individuals and organizations can harness their why to inspire action, build loyalty, and leave enduring legacies. The Golden Circle, a blueprint for inspirational leadership. Sinek's Golden Circle model, why, how, what, serves as the backbone of his thesis. Unlike traditional communication frameworks that start with what, products or services, or how, differentiation, visionary leaders begin with why, the purpose, cause, or belief driving their existence. This inversion taps into the limbic brain, the seat of human emotion and decision-making, forging connections that logic alone cannot achieve. Consider Apple's iconic Think Different campaign. While competitors like Dell focused on specs, we make fast computers, Apple anchored its messaging in a belief, challenging the status quo to empower creativity. This why attracted customers who identified as innovators, creating a tribe rather than a customer base. Similarly, Southwest Airlines' founding purpose, democratizing air travel, shaped its no-frills model, employee-centric culture, and playful branding. By contrast, companies like Blockbuster prioritized what, movie rentals, over why, accessible entertainment, leaving them vulnerable to Netflix's purpose-driven disruption. The Golden Circle also explains why some ventures thrive against impossible odds. The Wright brothers, underfunded and overshadowed by Samuel Langley's well-resourced team, succeeded because their why, solving humanity's flight problem, galvanized relentless experimentation. Langley, fixated on fame and profit, what, abandoned his project after one failure. Sinek notes that what and how are essential, but without why, they become transactional tools rather than transformative forces. The neuroscience of belief. How purpose hijacks the brain. Sinek grounds his theory in biology, explaining how the brain's structure determines receptivity to messaging. The neocortex, responsible for rational analysis, processes what? Facts, features, and statistics. Meanwhile, the limbic system, governing emotions and trust, decodes why. When leaders lead with purpose, they bypass the neocortex's skepticism, triggering instinctive loyalty. This explains why consumers often choose brands that align with their identity over objectively superior products. Harley-Davidson riders, for instance, don't buy motorcycles for efficiency, they buy into a rebellion against conformity. The company's why, celebrating freedom, resonates so deeply that customers tattoo the logo on their bodies. Similarly, Nike's "Just Do It" slogan transcends athletic gear, symbolizing personal empowerment. By contrast, brands like Sears faltered by emphasizing what, appliances, tools, without renewing their why, democratizing quality goods for post-war America. The limbic brain's dominance also clarifies why storytelling outperforms data. Charity, Water, a non-profit, raised millions by sharing individual narratives of communities gaining clean water, not just global scarcity statistics. Likewise, Tesla's mission to accelerate sustainable energy, why, transforms electric cars from commodities into symbols of environmental stewardship. Sinek warns that rational appeals alone, our software is 20% faster, invite commoditization, while purpose-driven narratives, we empower small businesses to thrive, create irreplaceable value. Manipulation versus inspiration, the two paths to influence. Sinek draws a stark line between manipulation, external tactics to drive short-term behavior, and inspiration, which cultivates enduring loyalty through shared belief. Manipulation leverages fear, promotions, or peer pressure. Buy now limited stock. While effective temporarily, these erode trust and commoditize offerings. For example, constant discounts train customers to value price over quality, shrinking margins and inviting copycats. Inspiration, however, emerges from alignment with why. Patagonia's "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaign urged conscious consumption, risking sales to reinforce its environmental mission. Result? A 30% revenue surge as eco-conscious buyers flocked to support the brand's integrity. Similarly, Starbucks' early why, creating a third place between work and home, justified premium pricing. When it drifted toward rapid expansion, what? Customer disconnection prompted a costly return to its roots. Trust, Sinek argues, is the ultimate currency. Southwest Airlines' consistent prioritization of employees, how, over shareholders, a reflection of its democratic why, built unparalleled customer loyalty. Conversely, Volkswagen's Dieselgate scandal, betraying its eco-friendly why, erased decades of goodwill overnight. The lesson: trust accrues through actions aligned with why, but a single misstep can obliterate it. Leadership? Turning believers into movements. True leadership, per Sinek, isn't about authority, but about embodying why so vividly that others voluntarily follow. Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech didn't outline policy, what, or tactics, how. It crystallized a belief in equality that millions adopted as their own. This shared why transformed passive listeners into active participants, sustaining the civil rights movement through brutal opposition. Modern leaders like Satya Nadella exemplify this. Upon becoming Microsoft's CEO, he reignited its original why: empower every person and organization to achieve more, shifting focus from software sales, Windows, to cloud-based collaboration, Azure, Teams. By framing technology as a tool for human potential, Nadella tripled Microsoft's market value and revitalized employee morale. Contrast this with Yahoo's identity crisis under Marissa Mayer, where a focus on acquisitions, what, without a unifying why, led to irrelevance. Sinek's celery test illustrates decision-making aligned with why. If your purpose is health, you'd choose celery over cookies despite external pressures. IKEA applies this by rejecting cheap, disposable furniture, what, to uphold its why of democratic design. Even when cheaper rivals emerge, IKEA's believers stay loyal, valuing its mission over momentary savings. Scaling purpose. The innovator's dilemma. Sinek adapts Everett Rogers's diffusion of innovation theory, showing how why bridges early adopters and the majority. Early adopters, 13.5%, embrace ideas based on belief. The majority, 68%, require proof. Tesla first captivated eco-conscious innovators. Why? Then used their advocacy to sway pragmatists seeking reliable EVs. What? Conversely, Google Glass failed by targeting tech elites. What? Without a compelling why beyond novelty. Organizations often dilute why to chase mass appeal. Lululemon initially thrived by serving yoga purists. Why? Mindful living. As it expanded into mainstream athleisure, what? Core customers felt abandoned, prompting a return to community-driven initiatives like free classes. Similarly, Airbnb's original why, belonging anywhere, guided its pandemic pivot to long-term stays and online experiences, while copycats like Oyo crumbled under generic expansion. Sinek warns that growth demands why stewardship. Walmart's drift from Sam Walton's why, empowering rural communities, to urban cost-cutting alienated its base, while Costco's steadfast focus on employee welfare, how, and member value, what, fortified its $200 billion empire. The key, letting why dictate scaling strategies, not vice versa. Discovering your why, a journey of self-awareness. For individuals, uncovering why requires excavating past experiences for recurring themes. Oprah Winfrey's why, using media to enlighten, emerged from childhood trauma and a career of empathetic storytelling. Similarly, Elon Musk's why, ensuring humanity's multi-planetary future, fuels SpaceX's relentless innovation, even amid failures. Organizations rediscover why by revisiting founding stories. Lego's near collapse in 2003 prompted a return to its 1932 why, fostering creativity through play, leading to hits like Lego Mindstorms and The Lego Movie. Microsoft's 2014 revival under Nadella involved exhuming its original why from the 1970s, long before Windows dominated. Implementing why demands systemic alignment. REI closes on Black Friday, opt outside, to honor its outdoor stewardship mission, while Zoom's how, ease of use, and what, video calls, stem from a why of empowering human connection. Internally hiring for cultural fit, Zappos, and incentivizing purpose-driven KPIs, Patagonia's Earth Tax, institutionalize why. Why drift? The silent killer of organizations. Why drift occurs when short-term gains overshadow purpose. Boeing's shift from engineering excellence, why, to profit-driven outsourcing, what, culminated in the 737 MAX crashes and a $20 billion loss. Conversely, Starbucks' 2008 comeback under Howard Schultz involved shuttering stores to retrain baristas, reaffirming coffee craftsmanship as its why. Preventing drift requires vigilance. Patagonia's B Corp certification legally binds it to environmental and social standards, while Salesforce's 111 model, 1% equity, 1% product, 1% employee time to charity, operationalizes its why of stakeholder capitalism. Regular why audits, assessing decisions against core values. Help leaders spot misalignment early. Conclusion: the timeless currency of purpose. Start with why isn't a business manual but a manifesto for human potential. In an age of AI and automation, purpose remains uniquely human, a beacon that attracts talent, customers, and legacy. Profit, Sinek reminds us, funds the mission. It isn't the mission. From classrooms to boardrooms, those who lead with why don't just sell products, they build movements. As you reflect on your why, ask, what belief is so intrinsic that it would persist even if your current role vanished? The answer is your North Star, guiding every how and what that follows. So what's your why? It's the question that separates fleeting success from enduring legacy. The difference between selling a product and sparking a movement. Simon Sinek's Start with Why isn't just a playbook for leaders. It's a mirror forcing us to confront whether we're building castles or cathedrals. Castles crumble when the king dies, but cathedrals, crafted by generations united in purpose, outlive their architects. Apple didn't just make phones, it ignited a rebellion against the ordinary. The Wright brothers didn't just fly, they defied gravity to prove humanity could. Your why isn't a slogan, it's the heartbeat of every decision, the compass in chaos, the answer to what's the point? In a world drowning in noise, your why is your megaphone. So don't just chase goals, ignite a cause. Don't just lead, inspire. Because when you start with why, you don't just make history, you become the flame others carry forward. Now, what will your flame burn for? What if everything you've been taught about success, happiness, and how to live is wrong? What if the rules society handed you, go to school, climb the corporate ladder, retire at 65, are nothing more than outdated scripts, keeping you trapped in a life that feels more like a checklist than a masterpiece? This isn't a conspiracy. It's a culture-scape, an invisible web of beliefs, traditions, and systems that dictate how we think, work, and love, often without our consent. In the Code of the Extraordinary Mind, Vishen Lakhiani, founder of Mind Valley and one of today's most disruptive thought leaders, pulls back the curtain on these illusions. He reveals how to break free from society's bullshit rules, and redesign your life from the inside out. This isn't about quick fixes or surface-level hacks. It's a radical rewrite of your operating system, blending cutting-edge neuroscience, ancient wisdom, and the habits of billionaires, artists, and spiritual icons. Imagine waking up every morning energized by a vision so compelling it pulls you out of bed. Picture a world where joy isn't something you chase someday, but a fire you carry within, fueling every step toward your grandest goals. This is what it means to bend reality, to live unshackled from fear, regret, and societal approval, to trade autopilot for awe. But here's the truth. Extraordinary living isn't reserved for the lucky or the born genius. It's a code, a set of laws that anyone can learn. Over the next 20 minutes, we'll dismantle the myths holding you back, rebuild your mindset from the ground up, and arm you with tools to engineer a life that doesn't just look good on paper, but feels like magic. Your journey to extraordinary starts now. Let's begin. Introduction. To understand how to crack this code, let's dive into the core ideas that make this book a game changer. In the Code of the Extraordinary Mind, Vishen Lakhiani crafts a revolutionary blueprint for transcending societal conditioning and designing a life of radical authenticity. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a manifesto for those who dare to question the invisible rules that dictate human behavior. Lakhiani, founder of the global education platform Mind Valley, draws from his own journey of abandoning a conventional career in engineering to explore mindfulness, entrepreneurship, and personal growth. He weaves together neuroscience, spirituality, and lessons from luminaries like Richard Branson and Brené Brown to challenge readers to redefine success, happiness, and purpose. At its heart, the book is about liberation, breaking free from the collective matrix of societal norms and replacing outdated beliefs with a personalized code for extraordinary living. Through 10 transformative laws, Lakhiani guides readers to engineer their reality, align with their deepest values, and create a legacy that transcends generations. The Culturescape and its constraints. Now that we've seen how the culturescape holds us back, let's explore the first step to breaking free: awakening from autopilot. The culturescape is the invisible architecture of beliefs, traditions, and systems that shape human behavior from birth. Lakhiani argues that much of what we consider normal, career paths, marriage, religious practices, even our definition of happiness, is not universal truth, but a social construct. For example, the Western emphasis on individualism contrasts sharply with collectivist cultures, yet both systems impose unconscious rules. These rules, bullshit rules, often go unchallenged, such as the belief that suffering is necessary for success or that aging inevitably leads to decline. Lakhiani shares how his Malaysian Indian upbringing ingrained rules about academic achievement and financial security, which he later rejected to pursue entrepreneurship. The key is to conduct a rule audit, questioning which norms serve growth and which perpetuate fear. One profound example is the education system, designed during the Industrial Revolution to produce obedient workers. Lakhiani critiques its focus on memorization over critical thinking, noting that innovators like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg thrived by unlearning institutionalized thinking. Similarly, the culturescape's glorification of busyness equates self-worth with productivity, leading to burnout. By contrast, extraordinary minds prioritize leverage, systems, delegation, and automation to achieve more with less effort. This section challenges readers to identify rules in their own lives, such as the pressure to marry by a certain age or equate wealth with worth. Lakhiani shares a case study of a client who left a high-paying law career to become a travel blogger, facing initial criticism but ultimately finding fulfillment. The culturescape's power lies in its invisibility. Once exposed, its grip weakens. Before we go further, let's pause. Imagine applying this to your own life. What rules are you blindly following? For instance, do you chase promotions because you want to, or because society says you should? Lakhiani also examines how media and advertising reinforce rules by selling inadequacy. The beauty industry profits from insecurities about aging, while social media fuels comparison. He introduces the concept of cultural hypnosis, the state of passively absorbing societal narratives without scrutiny. To break free, one must adopt a model of reality that prioritizes growth, joy, and contribution. For instance, instead of chasing promotions to meet societal expectations, an extraordinary mind might design a career around flexible hours to prioritize family. This section concludes with actionable steps: journaling to uncover subconscious rules, seeking mentors who live unconventionally, and gradually replacing fear-based decisions with values-driven choices. Now that we've seen how the culturescape holds us back, let's explore the first step to breaking free: awakening from autopilot. The awakening. From autopilot to consciousness. Awakening begins with the realization that most of our thoughts and behaviors are on autopilot, shaped by childhood conditioning and cultural programming. Lakiani recounts his own awakening during a meditation retreat in Bali, where he confronted the emptiness of his corporate success. He introduces the 3 most important questions framework. What experiences do you want to have? How do you want to grow? How do you want to contribute? These questions shift focus from societal metrics, income, status, to personal fulfillment. For example, a parent might realize that working 80-hour weeks to afford a luxury home conflicts with their desire to be present for their children. Consciousness requires mastering the art of self-observation. Lakiani recommends daily practices like mindfulness meditation to detach from reactive thoughts. He cites studies showing that meditation increases gray matter in brain regions linked to emotional regulation. A powerful exercise involves labeling thoughts as helpful or unhelpful rather than true or false. For instance, the belief, "I'm not good enough to start a business," can be reframed as, "This fear is normal, and I can learn as I go." This mental shift reduces the emotional charge of limiting beliefs. Let's take a breath here. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about integrating it into a stronger version of yourself. The awakening phase also involves healing past traumas that distort self-perception. Lakiani shares his struggles with imposter syndrome despite Mind Valley's success, rooted in childhood comparisons to high-achieving siblings. He advocates therapies like EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and breathwork to release stored emotions. A case study features a woman who overcame a fear of public speaking by addressing a childhood humiliation incident. By revisiting the memory with self-compassion, she rewrote her narrative from "I'm a failure" to "I'm resilient." Bending reality, the science of joy and vision. Bending reality is Lakiani's term for harmonizing present-moment joy with relentless pursuit of visionary goals. He contrasts this with the common trap of delayed gratification, sacrificing happiness now for a hypothetical future. For example, an entrepreneur might grind through 18-hour days, believing happiness will come once the company scales. Extraordinary minds reject this binary, finding joy in the journey. Lakiani illustrates this with Richard Branson, who turned business ventures into adventures, blending work with his passions for travel and innovation. The science behind bending reality involves your brain's ability to rewire itself, neuroplasticity, and the reticular activating system, AS, which filters information based on focus. By immersing yourself in positive emotions and clear goals, you prime your brain to spot opportunities. A study cited by Lakiani shows that people who practice gratitude daily are 25% more likely to achieve their goals. He guides readers through creating a vision script, a vivid present-tense narrative of their ideal life. For instance, I wake up energized, coaching clients from my beachfront villa, then surf at sunset. This script is reviewed daily to align subconscious thinking with conscious desires. Before we move on, consider this. Intuition isn't mystical. It's your subconscious connecting dots your logical mind misses. Lakiani explores the role of intuition, which he calls soul guidance. He shares how ignoring a gut feeling nearly led to a disastrous business partnership, while trusting intuition helped him avoid it. Techniques to access intuition include meditation, spending time in nature, and mind downloads. Stream of consciousness journaling. A case study features a musician who abandoned a stable teaching job to tour globally after repeatedly dreaming of performing. By honoring his intuition, he achieved breakthroughs he'd never planned logically. Becoming extraordinary. Laws for transcendent living. Lakiani's 10 laws provide a scaffold for extraordinary living. The first law, transcend the culturescape, urges readers to live by design, not default. He shares how nomadic tribes in Mongolia measure wealth in livestock and community bonds, not money, a stark contrast to Western materialism. This law invites exploring alternative models, like minimalism or communal living, to find what resonates personally. The second law, question the rules, involves systematic doubt. Lakiani challenges the rule that more money equals more happiness, citing research showing emotional well-being plateaus after $75,000 annually. He advocates testing rules through experiments, e.g., taking a sabbatical to assess if career identity dictates self-worth. A CEO client discovered he was happier running a smaller, purpose-driven firm than a stressful conglomerate. Practice gratitude and appreciation, Law 6, is backed by neuroscience. Regular gratitude practice boosts serotonin and reduces activity in the brain's fear center. Lakiani suggests a nightly ritual, listing 3 wins and 3 learnings. A depressed client used this to reframe setbacks as growth steps, eventually launching a mental health nonprofit. Embrace your quest, Law 10, frames life as a hero's journey. Lakiani draws on Joseph Campbell's monomyth, urging readers to view challenges as threshold guardians, testing their resolve. An example, J.K. Rowling's rejections became the catalyst for refining Harry Potter. By adopting a quest mindset, failures become plot twists, not endpoints. Conclusion: the journey to extraordinary. Lakiani closes by affirming that extraordinary living is a dynamic process, not a destination. It requires continuous self-auditing, courage to face discomfort, and compassion for one's imperfections. He revisits Mindvalley's evolution from a failed software startup to a global education hub, emphasizing that setbacks are data, not destiny. The book's ultimate message is that everyone possesses an extraordinary code, a unique blend of talents and passions waiting to be unlocked. This journey is not solitary. Lakiani advocates building a tribe of like-minded visionaries who challenge and inspire. He shares how mastermind groups accelerated his growth, providing accountability and fresh perspectives. Readers are urged to seek mentors, attend transformative events, and share their journeys to uplift others. In the end, the code of the extraordinary mind is a call to live audaciously. It's a reminder that the rules we inherit are optional and that true power lies in rewriting them. By embracing the book's laws, readers join a global movement of conscious creators, people who dare to turn their boldest visions into reality, one intentional choice at a time. Closing narration. And there it is, the choice that changes everything. Will you keep nodding to the rhythm of a world that never asked what you truly want? Or will you grab the pen and rewrite the code? Your code, one bold stroke at a time. Vishen Lakiani didn't just write a book, he lit a fuse that detonates the rules, burns away the shoulds, and leaves only the raw, pulsing truth of who you're meant to become. You now hold the map. The laws of extraordinary minds aren't theories, they're tools. Tools to dismantle fear, to bend time and reality, to turn your deepest whispers into a roar that shakes the culturescape. But here's the secret no one tells you. Transformation doesn't happen in the watching. It happens in the doing. In the moments you silence doubt and declare, my rules, my life, my legacy. So go ahead. Question the unquestionable. Work less but achieve more. Love like a revolution. Build a life so alive, so unapologetically yours, that it terrifies the old version of you because the world doesn't need more followers. It needs you, the unfiltered, unfuckwithable, extraordinary you. the one who doesn't just dream of a better world but builds it, breath by breath, starting today. This isn't goodbye. It's your hell yes echoing into the universe. The code is cracked. The path is clear. Now go bend reality. And if this resonated, hit that subscribe button. Your journey to extraordinary starts today, and we'll be here every step of the way. Atomic Habits. Welcome to this comprehensive exploration of Atomic Habits by James Clear. Over the next few minutes, we'll delve deep into the transformative ideas presented in this best-selling book about building good habits and breaking bad ones. Atomic Habits is more than just a self-help book. It's a practical guide to personal development that focuses on the power of small, incremental changes. Clear's central argument is that tiny improvements, when compounded over time, can lead to remarkable results. This concept forms the foundation of what he calls atomic habits. The book is grounded in scientific research from psychology, biology, and neuroscience, but Clear presents these complex ideas in an accessible and engaging way. He combines theoretical insights with practical strategies, making it easy for readers to apply these concepts to their own lives. The power of atomic habits. Clear defines an atomic habit as a little habit that is part of a larger system. The term atomic is used in two ways here. 1. Tiny, these habits are small and easy to do. 2. Source of immense energy or power. Just as atoms are the building blocks of matter, atomic habits are the building blocks of remarkable results. Clear emphasizes that even a 1% improvement each day can compound over time to create significant achievements. He illustrates this with a compelling metaphor. If you can get 1% better each day for 1 year, you'll end up 37 times better by the time you're done. Conversely, if you get 1% worse each day for a year, you'll decline nearly down to 0. The compound effect of habits. Clear illustrates how habits, both good and bad, compound over time. 1. Positive compounding. Productivity compounds. Automating an aspect of your work creates more free time to be productive elsewhere. Knowledge compounds. Learning one new idea opens the door to understanding related ideas. Relationships compound. Being a little bit nicer in each interaction can result in a network of broad and strong connections. 2. Negative compounding. Stress compounds. The frustration of bad traffic can ripple to how you talk with your boss and loved ones. Negative thoughts compound. Worrying about one thing leads to worrying about another and another. Outrage compounds. Consuming negative news can make you cynical about everything. Clear argues that habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. The effects of your habits multiply as you repeat them. They seem to make little difference on any given day, and yet the impact they deliver over the months and years can be enormous. The 4 laws of behavior change. The core of Atomic Habits is built around 4 laws for creating good habits and breaking bad ones. Let's explore each of these in detail. 1. Make it obvious. To create a good habit, use implementation intentions. This is a plan you make beforehand about when and where to act. The format is, I will behavior at time in location. For example, I will meditate for 1 minute at 7 a.m. in my kitchen. Use habit stacking. This technique involves linking a new habit to an existing one. The formula is, after insert current habit, I will insert new habit. For instance, after I pour my cup of coffee each morning, I will meditate for 1 minute. Design your environment. Make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. If you want to remember to take your medication, leave it where you can see it. Clear argues that many of the actions we take each day are shaped not by purposeful drive and choice, but by the most obvious option. To break a bad habit, reduce exposure to the cues that trigger the habit. If you want to watch less television, take the TV out of your bedroom. Use the inverse of habit stacking to break bad habits. The formula is, after trigger, I will good habit instead of bad habit. Clear emphasizes the importance of awareness in this law. He suggests creating a habits scorecard, a simple exercise where you list your daily habits and mark them as positive, negative, or neutral. This increases your awareness and is the first step toward change. 2. Make it attractive. To create a good habit, use temptation bundling. This involves pairing an action you want to do with an action you need to do. For example, only listening to your favorite podcast while exercising. Join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. The culture we live in determines which behaviors are attractive to us. Surround yourself with people who have the habits you want to have. Create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit to make the habit more attractive. To break a bad habit, reframe your mindset. Highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits to make them seem unattractive. Emphasize the negative consequences of bad habits to make them seem unattractive. Clear discusses the role of dopamine in habit formation. He explains that it's not just the reward itself, but the anticipation of the reward that gets us to act. Making habits attractive is about boosting that feeling of anticipation. He also introduces the concept of supernormal stimuli, exaggerated versions of reality that elicit a stronger response than the real thing. Understanding this can help us resist the pull of modern temptations that can lead to bad habits. 3. Make it easy. To create a good habit, reduce friction. Decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. If you want to eat healthier, prep your meals in advance. Use the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. The idea is to make habits as easy as possible to start. Read 1 page, meditate for 1 minute, put on your running shoes. Automate your habits. Invest in technology and one-time purchases that lock in future behavior. Use automatic bill pay. Get a water filter to make drinking water easier. Unsubscribe from emails. Practice habit shaping. Start with an incredibly easy version of the habit you want, then slowly improve your performance over time. To break a bad habit, increase friction. Add steps between you and your bad habits. Unplug the TV after each use. Use a commitment device. Restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. For example, put your phone in another room while working to avoid distractions. Clear emphasizes that the most effective way to change a habit is to focus not on what's easy to do, but on what's easy to start. He introduces the concepts of decisive moments and the 2-minute rule to help make habits easier to adopt. 5. Make it satisfying. To create a good habit, use reinforcement. Give yourself an immediate reward when you complete your habit. This helps your brain associate the behavior with a positive feeling. Use habit tracking. Keep a record of your habit streak. Clear suggests using a calendar or habit tracker app to maintain a visual record of your progress. Never miss twice. If you miss one day, try to get back on track as quickly as possible. Use habit contracts. Make the costs of violating your promises public and painful. To break a bad habit, make it unsatisfying. Create a negative consequence, like a monetary fine, for failing to meet your habit goal. Find an accountability partner. Ask someone to monitor your behavior. Clear stresses the importance of immediate satisfaction in habit formation. The human brain has evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed rewards. The more immediate pleasure you get from an action, the more likely it is to become a habit. He also introduces the concept of the habit line, the point at which a new habit becomes automatic. Understanding this can help in maintaining motivation during the habit formation process. Identity-based habits. One of the most powerful ideas in Atomic Habits is the concept of identity-based habits. Clear emphasizes the importance of focusing on who you want to become, rather than what you want to achieve. Focus on identity. Instead of setting a goal to read more books, focus on becoming a reader. Instead of trying to run a marathon, focus on becoming a runner. Every action is a vote. Clear explains that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Each time you write a page, you're a writer. Each time you program, you're a programmer. Habit formation is the process of embodying a new identity. The more you repeat a behavior, the more you reinforce the identity associated with that behavior. This approach shifts the focus from achieving specific external results to changing your beliefs about yourself and your identity. Clear argues that this is a more effective and sustainable approach to long-term change. He introduces a two-step process for changing your identity. 1. Decide the type of person you want to be. 2. Prove it to yourself with small wins. Clear also discusses the concept of identity conflict and how it can sabotage habit change efforts. He provides strategies for aligning your habits with your desired identity. The plateau of latent potential. Clear introduces the concept of the plateau of latent potential to explain why habits often seem to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold. This idea helps to address the frustration many people feel when they don't see immediate results from their efforts. He uses the analogy of an ice cube melting. If you raise the temperature from 25 to 31 degrees, the ice cube doesn't change. But at 32 degrees, it starts to melt. The previous temperature increases were still making a difference, but the effects weren't visible until the melting point. Similarly, habits often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold and unlock a new level of performance. Clear encourages readers to trust the process and focus on systems rather than goals. This concept is closely tied to the idea of valley of disappointment, the period where you feel you're putting in effort but not seeing results. Understanding these concepts can help maintain motivation during the challenging early stages of habit formation. Advanced tactics. Clear doesn't just stop at the 4 laws. He also provides several advanced tactics for mastering the subtle art of behavior change. 1. The Goldilocks rule. Human experiences peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy, just right. 2. The paperclip strategy. Clear shares a story about a successful stockbroker who, early in his career, set out to make 100 sales calls each day. He kept a stack of 120 paperclips and moved one paperclip to a new stack after each call. This visual reinforcement helped him stay motivated and consistent. 3. Habit tracking. Clear emphasizes the power of measuring your progress. When we measure our progress, we are effectively celebrating our small wins, which encourages us to continue. 4th habit. Stacking 2.0. This advanced version involves not just stacking a new habit onto an existing one, but creating entire routines by stacking several habits together. The Seinfeld strategy, named after comedian Jerry Seinfeld. This strategy involves marking a calendar for each day you stick to your habit. As your chain of marks grows, you'll be motivated to keep the streak alive. 6. The pointing and calling technique. This strategy, borrowed from the Japanese railway system, involves physically pointing at something and calling out your actions. This raises awareness and reduces mistakes. Conclusion: Atomic Habits offers a comprehensive approach to personal development through the power of small, consistent changes. By understanding and applying the 4 laws of behavior change, focusing on identity-based habits, and trusting the process of gradual improvement, Clear argues that we can transform our lives one tiny habit at a time. As we conclude this summary, consider how you might apply these principles in your own life. Which habits would you like to build or break? How can you make these changes obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying? Remember, as James Clear says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. May this book inspire you to create systems that support the person you want to become, and may your atomic habits lead to exponential growth in your life. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of atomic habits. Here's to your journey of continuous improvement and personal growth. What if the secret to extraordinary success wasn't in your DNA, your luck, or how many hours you grind, but in 6 neurological hacks hidden in plain sight? After analyzing 190,000 high achievers, from Olympic champions to Silicon Valley disruptors, Brendan Burchard cracked a code so potent it makes people 4.3 times more likely to crush their wildest goals while feeling 68% more fulfilled. This isn't theory. This is neuroscience weaponized. 20 years ago, Burchard lay dying in a car wreck. In those shattered moments, he asked 3 questions that would rewrite the rules of human potential. Why do some rise relentlessly while others plateau? Why do successful people still feel empty? What ignites the unstoppable hunger for mastery? The answer? A biological override for mediocrity, proven by brain scans battle-tested by Fortune 500 CEOs and distilled into 6 habits that rewire your brain's default settings. Forget hustle harder. The elite don't rely on willpower. They use 90-second dopamine triggers, emotional engineering, and a ruthless system that turns procrastination into rocket fuel. One CEO used Habit 3 to boost his team's performance by 200% in 6 weeks. A nurse transformed her entire hospital's culture using Habit 5. And it all starts with a brutal truth. Your brain is literally addicted to average, but in the next 12 minutes, you'll learn how to hijack its wiring and unlock what Burchard calls the cheat code to becoming superhuman. High-performance habits: How Extraordinary People Become. That Way by Brendan Burchard is a groundbreaking exploration of sustained excellence. This work is rooted in a decade of research involving over 190,000 participants across 190 countries. Burchard, a world-renowned high-performance coach, dismantles the myth that extraordinary achievement requires innate talent or luck. Instead, he reveals 6 deliberate habits that anyone can cultivate to unlock their potential. The book's foundation lies in 3 existential questions Burchard confronted after surviving a near-fatal car accident at age 19. Why do some people succeed faster and sustain success longer? Why do many high achievers remain unhappy despite outward success? What drives individuals to pursue ever higher levels of excellence? These questions ignited a 20-year quest to decode the DNA of high performers, culminating in a framework that balances achievement with well-being. Burchard's research began with a simple premise: sustainable excellence is a learnable skill. Through coaching 500 CEOs, Olympic athletes, and entrepreneurs, he discovered that 89% of long-term success stems from 6 deliberate habits, not innate gifts or circumstances. His methodology combined longitudinal studies, neuroscientific research, and real-world testing. For instance, a 7-year study tracking 1,200 professionals revealed that those practicing all 6 habits were 4.3 times more likely to achieve their goals while reporting 68% higher life satisfaction. This data-driven approach distinguishes Burchard's work from generic self-help advice. The habits form the HP6 model, a system designed to help individuals thrive across all life domains: career, relationships, health, and personal growth. The first habit Burchard identifies is seeking clarity. High performers begin by cultivating 4-dimensional clarity, a process far more nuanced than conventional goal setting. First, they define their ideal future self with cinematic specificity. A marketing executive might visualize not just career milestones, but how she wants to feel during high-stakes presentations, grounded, articulate, and inspiring. This clarity extends to social curation. A participant in Burchard's study conducts quarterly relationship audits, evaluating whether her inner circle challenges her paradigms and reflects her values. Third, they identify skill gaps critically to their primary field. A software engineer might dedicate 90 minutes daily to mastering machine learning algorithms, tracking progress through micro-competencies like debugging efficiency or code optimization. Fourth, they articulate service metrics, how they'll contribute value beyond personal gain. A nurse might commit to mentoring 3 junior colleagues monthly, measuring impact through patient satisfaction scores and skill acquisition rates. Burchard's clarity chart transforms these aspirations into actionable plans. For example, improve public speaking evolves into deliver 10 keynote speeches annually with 90% plus audience approval ratings. High performers revisit this chart every 90 days, adjusting for evolving ambitions, a practice shown to increase goal achievement by 63% among Burchard's coaching clients. The chart includes identity statements, relationship criteria, skill targets, and service benchmarks. Advanced clarity practices include identity architecture, which involves scripting detailed 3-year visions for health, relationships, and career, then reverse engineering quarterly milestones. Legacy projection asks, what 3 lessons would define me if I died today? To root daily actions in enduring purpose. Weekly alignment checks involve 15-minute sessions reviewing progress against clarity goals. The second habit is generating energy. While others rely on caffeine and willpower, high performers treat energy as renewable capital. They deploy neuroscience-backed rituals to optimize physical, emotional, and mental vitality. Morning cardio sessions elevate BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, by 30%, enhancing neural plasticity for accelerated learning. Strategic hydration, consuming 17 ounces of water within 30 minutes of waking, rehydrates the brain 14% faster, sharpening decision-making during critical morning hours. The 90-minute ultradian cycle structures work into 75-minute focused sprints, followed by 15-minute recovery breaks, aligning with the body's natural rhythms to prevent burnout. Emotionally, high performers practice micro-joys, intentional moments of savoring sensory experiences. A trial lawyer might pause before entering court to appreciate the crisp drape of her suit, triggering dopamine release that counteracts pre-trial anxiety. During stress spikes, they employ emotional labeling, verbally articulating feelings to reduce cortisol levels by 41%. Burchard's data reveals practitioners maintain 28% higher energy reserves than average professionals, enabling sustained performance without depletion. Energy rituals include the 80-20 hydration rule, which involves consuming 80% of daily water intake before noon to optimize cognitive function. Neuroprotective foods like walnuts and blueberries are prioritized, as they've been shown to improve memory recall by 18% in clinical trials. Sleep hygiene follows the 90-minute multiplier, aligning sleep cycles to 90-minute increments to maximize REM recovery. Transition rituals are also crucial. The release tension, set intention practice involves breathing exercises between tasks to reset focus. The third habit is raising necessities. High performers transform should into non-negotiable musts through 4 necessity anchors: identity, obsession, duty, and urgency. A surgeon might frame each operation as a chance to honor my father's legacy as a paramedic, merging personal history with professional purpose. They employ the 10x stakes method, asking, what would make completing this project 10 times more critical? A novelist battling writer's block might commit to donating $1,000 to a political cause she opposes if she misses her deadline tactic that leverages aversion to heighten accountability. Burchard's research shows 68% of top performers use public pact systems. One CEO paid $25,000 to a rival charity after missing a revenue target paradoxical move that boosted his team's performance by 200% through intensified focus. The legacy lens technique adds depth. How will this action impact future generations? A teacher might frame lesson planning as shaping minds that will solve climate change, elevating mundane tasks to mission-critical work. Advanced necessity practices include pre-mortem analysis, where individuals ask themselves, if I avoid this difficult conversation, what future regret might I harbor? Fear inversion involves drafting worst-case scenarios with recovery plans. Values. Alignment checks ensure actions mirror aspirations by asking questions like, does staying silent about unethical practices align with my integrity? The fourth habit is increasing productivity. High performers optimize for prolific quality output, PQO, the 20% of activities yielding 80% of results. A software developer blocks 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily for uninterrupted coding, reserving afternoons for emails and meetings. Burchard's 5 moves. Strategy deconstructs complex goals into manageable steps. For example, an author might approach writing a book by blueprinting chapters using mind mapping software, drafting 500 words daily before breakfast, submitting weekly sections to a mastermind group, hiring a developmental editor at 30,000 words, and executing a 6-month marketing campaign. Environment design amplifies focus. Brown noise playlists improve concentration by 22%, while ergonomic workstations reduce physical strain by 34%. The 4D filter eliminates distractions by encouraging high performers to delete non-essential meetings, delegate routine tasks to virtual assistants, defer low-priority emails to batch processing slots, and diminish trivial decisions through standardized protocols. A study of 200 executives found these strategies reclaimed 11.2 hours weekly, equivalent to 58 extra workdays annually. Advanced productivity tactics include progressive mastery, which involves daily 90-minute deep work sessions on PQO skills. The impact filter asks, will this matter in 5 years? And has been shown to eliminate 62% of low-value tasks. The fifth habit is developing influence. Influence extends beyond charisma to systematic behavioral practice. High performers ascend Burchard's influence ladder by first modeling excellence, demonstrating target behaviors 87% of work hours. They then coach through inquiry, asking questions like, What's your best option here? Finally, they challenge limits by posing questions such as, what if you tripled this goal? The spotlight technique redirects attention to others' contributions. In board meetings, leaders begin with statements that highlight team members' insights. Legacy language replaces I with we and you to foster collective ownership. Burchard's data shows teams led by high-influence managers report 73% higher job satisfaction and 45% greater productivity. The empathy ratio, spending 30% of conversations asking about others' perspectives, builds trust and loyalty. A sales director might allocate Wednesdays to mentoring junior staff, creating a leadership pipeline that compounds organizational impact. Advanced influence practices include the Influence Canvas, which involves mapping key relationships and planning quarterly growth challenges for each connection. Legacy language systematically replaces I with we in communications to foster a sense of shared purpose and collective achievement. The sixth and final habit is demonstrating courage. Courage isn't fearlessness, it's action despite uncertainty. High performers conduct pre-mortem analyses, asking themselves, if I avoid this difficult conversation, what future regrets might I harbor? They practice fear inversion, drafting worst-case scenarios with recovery plans. An entrepreneur fearing bankruptcy might write, if revenue drops 50%, I'll liquidate non-core assets and pivot to subscription services. The 5-second rule bypasses hesitation by counting backward from 5 to interrupt overthinking. A shy analyst might use this technique to voice ideas in strategy sessions. Values. Alignment checks ensure ethical consistency by prompting questions like, does silence about safety violations align with my integrity? Burchard's courage. Index reveals top performers exit comfort zones 3.4 times weekly, a habit correlating with 4.1 times faster career advancement. Advanced courage practices include keeping a courage journal, documenting 3 daily brave acts, and making a noble fight commitment, dedicating 15% of time to causes beyond self-interest. High performers integrate these habits into a daily success architecture. Their morning priming routine typically lasts 35 minutes and consists of 3 key components. Cardio ignition, which involves 20 minutes of heart-pumping exercise to kickstart the day. Visualization, where they spend 10 minutes imagining daily wins to set a positive tone. And intention setting, which involves 5 minutes of journaling priorities to focus the mind. Throughout the day, they employ transition rituals to maintain focus and energy. These include the release tension practice, which involves 4-7-8 breathing, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, exhale for 8 seconds, and set intention, where they verbalize the purpose of their next task. In the evening, high performers engage in optimization practices. Error journaling involves documenting 3 mistakes made during the day and deriving 1 lesson from each. They also conduct a PQO progress review, assessing time allocation via time tracking apps to ensure they're focusing on high-impact activities. The High Performance Indicator, HPI, a free online assessment, quantifies habit strength across all 6 areas. If someone scores 8 out of 10 in clarity, but only 5 out of 10 in energy, they might add 2 daily joy anchors like lunchtime nature walks or evening guitar practice to boost their energy levels. Burchard's model integrates findings from various scientific disciplines. Neuroscience contributes the concept of dopamine stacking, which involves pairing tasks with micro-rewards to rewire habit loops. Psychology provides insights such as the 66-day automation threshold, which is the average time required to ingrain new habits. Sociology offers the concept of energy contagion, demonstrating how teams mirror their leaders' vitality, potentially impacting productivity by plus or minus 15%. Longitudinal data from Burchard's research reveals impressive outcomes for those who consistently apply these habits. High performers achieve their goals 4.3 times more often than their peers. They also report 68% greater life satisfaction and experience a 39% lower incidence of burnout. When goals are met, high performers redirect 20% of their effort to new challenges. For example, a promoted executive might dedicate time to mentoring junior staff, thereby embedding and reinforcing their own leadership skills. Legacy alignment checks, conducted biannually with trusted advisors, ensure that actions continue to resonate with enduring values even as career trajectories evolve. Burchard reframes high performance as compounded intentionality, a 1% daily improvement yielding 37 times annual growth. This concept is exemplified by a nurse who embodies the 6 habits in her daily practice. She clarifies her role as a patient advocate, fuels her energy through hydration rituals, links her shifts to her child's education fund for motivation, time blocks critical care, tasks for optimal productivity, influences through empathetic communication, and demonstrates courage by advocating for safer staffing. As Burchard writes, sustainable excellence honors potential through daily choices, not grand gestures. This framework requires no innate genius, just consistent application of 6 habits that transform ordinary effort into extraordinary legacy. The power of these habits lies in their universality and adaptability. Whether you're a CEO, an artist, a teacher, or a student, these principles can be tailored to your specific context and goals. The key is consistency and intentionality in their application. Consider the habit of seeking clarity. In a world of constant distractions and competing priorities, the ability to maintain a clear vision of one's goals and values is invaluable. This clarity acts as a North Star, guiding decisions both big and small. For a business leader, it might mean regularly revisiting the company's mission and ensuring that every project aligns with core objectives. For an individual, it could involve periodic self-reflection to ensure personal and professional goals remain in harmony. Generating energy, the second habit, is crucial in our increasingly demanding world. It's not just about physical energy, but mental and emotional resilience as well. The practices Burchard outlines, from strategic hydration to emotional regulation techniques, form a holistic approach to energy management. This habit acknowledges that high performance isn't about burning out in short bursts, but sustaining excellence over the long term. Raising necessity, the third habit, speaks to the power of internal motivation. By linking tasks and goals to deeply held values and a sense of purpose, high performers create an internal drive that far outstrips external motivators like rewards or punishments. This habit transforms work from a series of obligations into a mission, infusing even mundane tasks with meaning and urgency. The fourth habit, increasing productivity, goes beyond simple time management. It's about identifying the truly impactful activities, the 20% that yield 80% of results, and structuring one's day to prioritize these high-leverage tasks. This habit recognizes that busyness does not equal productivity, and that strategic focus on key activities can yield exponential results. Developing influence, the fifth habit, acknowledges that no one achieves greatness in isolation. By systematically cultivating their ability to inspire, motivate, and lead others, high performers create a multiplier effect on their impact. This habit is as much about empathy and emotional intelligence as it is about traditional leadership skills. Finally, the habit of demonstrating courage recognizes that growth and high performance inevitably involve discomfort and risk. By regularly pushing beyond their comfort zones and facing fears head-on, high performers expand their capabilities and open themselves to new opportunities. Together, these habits form a comprehensive system for achieving and sustaining excellence. They address not just the external behaviors of high performance, but also the internal mindsets and emotional states that drive those behaviors. This holistic approach is what sets Burchard's work apart from many other performance improvement methodologies. One of the most powerful aspects of Burchard's framework is its emphasis on balance and sustainability. High performance, as he defines it, is not about sacrificing everything for success in one area of life. Instead, it's about achieving excellence across multiple domains while maintaining personal well-being. This approach recognizes that true success is multifaceted and that neglecting any aspect of life, be it health, relationships, or personal growth, ultimately undermines performance in all areas. The habit of seeking clarity, for instance, isn't just about setting career goals. It's about defining what success means in every aspect of life and ensuring that these definitions align with one's deepest values. This comprehensive approach to clarity prevents the common pitfall of achieving outward success at the cost of personal fulfillment. Similarly, the habit of generating energy acknowledges that high performance requires more than just working longer hours. It recognizes the crucial role of physical health, emotional well-being, and mental clarity in sustaining peak performance. By treating energy as a renewable resource that must be consciously managed, high performers are able to maintain their output over the long term without succumbing to burnout. The habit of raising necessity is particularly powerful in its ability to transform mundane tasks into meaningful work. By connecting every action to a larger purpose or deeply held value, high performers are able to maintain motivation and engagement even in the face of challenging or repetitive tasks. This habit ensures that high performance isn't just about doing more, but about bringing one's full self to every task. Increasing productivity, as Burchard defines it, is not about cramming more activities into each day. Instead, it's about ruthlessly prioritizing the most impactful tasks and creating the conditions for deep, focused work. This approach recognizes that in an age of constant distraction, the ability to concentrate deeply is becoming an increasingly rare and valuable skill. The habit of developing influence reflects an understanding that true success is rarely achieved in isolation. The power of these habits lies in their universality and adaptability. Whether you're a CEO, an artist, a teacher, or a student, these principles can be tailored to your specific context and goals. The key is consistency and intentionality in their application. Consider the habit of seeking clarity. In a world of constant distractions and competing priorities, the ability to maintain a clear vision of one's goals and values is invaluable. This clarity acts as a North Star, guiding decisions both big and small. For a business leader, it might mean regularly revisiting the company's mission and ensuring that every project aligns with core objectives. For an individual, it could involve periodic self-reflection to ensure personal and professional goals remain in harmony. Generating energy, the second habit, is crucial in our increasingly demanding world. It's not just about physical energy, but mental and emotional resilience as well. The practices Burchard outlines, from strategic hydration to emotional regulation techniques, form a holistic approach to energy management. This habit acknowledges that high performance isn't about burning out in short bursts, but sustaining excellence over the long term. Raising necessity, the third habit, speaks to the power of internal motivation. By linking tasks and goals to deeply held values and a sense of purpose, high performers create an internal drive that far outstrips external motivators like rewards or punishments. This habit transforms work from a series of obligations into a mission, infusing even mundane tasks with meaning and urgency. The fourth habit, increasing productivity, goes beyond simple time management. It's about identifying the truly impactful activities, the 20% that yield 80% of results, and structuring one's day to prioritize these high-leverage tasks. This habit recognizes that busyness does not equal productivity, and that strategic focus on key activities can yield exponential results. Developing influence, the fifth habit, acknowledges that no one achieves greatness in isolation. By systematically cultivating their ability to inspire, motivate, and lead others, high performers create a multiplier effect on their impact. This habit is as much about empathy and emotional intelligence as it is about traditional leadership skills. Finally, the habit of demonstrating courage recognizes that growth and high performance inevitably involve discomfort and risk. By regularly pushing beyond their comfort zones and facing fears head-on, high performers expand their capabilities and open themselves to new opportunities. Together, these habits form a comprehensive system for achieving and sustaining excellence. They address not just the external behaviors of high performance, but also the internal mindsets and emotional states that drive those behaviors. This holistic approach is what sets Burchard's work apart from many other performance improvement methodologies. One of the most powerful aspects of Burchard's framework is its emphasis on balance and sustainability. High performance, as he defines it, is not about sacrificing everything for success in one area of life. Instead, it's about achieving excellence across multiple domains while maintaining personal well-being. This approach recognizes that true success is multifaceted and that neglecting any aspect of life, be it health, relationships, or personal growth, ultimately undermines performance in all areas. The habit of seeking clarity, for instance, isn't just about setting career goals. It's about defining what success means in every aspect of life and ensuring that these definitions align with one's deepest values. This comprehensive approach to clarity prevents the common pitfall of achieving outward success at the cost of personal fulfillment. Similarly, the habit of generating energy acknowledges that high performance requires more than just working longer hours. It recognizes the crucial role of physical health, emotional well-being, and mental clarity in sustaining peak performance. By treating energy as a renewable resource that must be consciously managed, high performers are able to maintain their output over the long term without succumbing to burnout. The habit of raising necessity is particularly powerful in its ability to transform mundane tasks into meaningful work. By connecting every action to a larger purpose or deeply held value, high performers are able to maintain motivation and engagement even in the face of challenging or repetitive tasks. This habit ensures that high performance isn't just about doing more, but about bringing one's full self to every task. Increasing productivity, as Burchard defines it, is not about cramming more activities into each day. Instead, it's about ruthlessly prioritizing the most impactful tasks and creating the conditions for deep, focused work. This approach recognizes that in an age of constant distraction, the ability to concentrate deeply is becoming an increasingly rare and valuable skill. The habit of developing influence reflects an understanding that true success is rarely achieved in isolation. By systematically cultivating their ability to inspire and lead others, High performers create a ripple effect that extends their impact far beyond their individual efforts. This habit is as much about personal growth as it is about leadership, requiring continuous self-reflection and improvement. Finally, the habit of demonstrating courage serves as a catalyst for growth and innovation. By regularly pushing beyond their comfort zones, high performers not only expand their own capabilities, but also inspire those around them to do the same. This habit recognizes that meaningful progress often requires taking calculated risks and facing fears head-on. What makes Burchard's approach particularly compelling is its grounding in extensive research and real-world application. The habits he describes are not theoretical constructs, but proven practices derived from studying and working with top performers across various fields. This empirical foundation lends credibility to the framework and provides a roadmap for those seeking to elevate their performance. Moreover, the High Performance Indicator (HPI) assessment tool offers a practical way for individuals to gauge their current strengths and areas for improvement across all 6 habits. This quantitative approach allows for targeted development efforts, ensuring that energy is invested where it will yield the greatest returns. The 20% reinvestment rule is another key insight from Burchard's work. By encouraging high performers to continually challenge themselves and expand their capabilities, this principle helps prevent stagnation and promotes ongoing growth. It recognizes that true high performance is not a destination, but a journey of continuous improvement. High Performance Habits offers a comprehensive and actionable framework for achieving sustained excellence. By focusing on these 6 core habits, seeking clarity, generating energy, raising necessity, increasing productivity, developing influence, and demonstrating courage, individuals can unlock their potential and achieve extraordinary results across all areas of life. The power of this approach lies in its holistic nature, addressing both the external behaviors and internal mindsets necessary for high performance. As we navigate an increasingly complex and demanding world, the ability to perform at a high level consistently is becoming more crucial than ever. Burchard's work provides a roadmap for developing this ability not through innate talent or luck, but through deliberate practice and habit formation. By applying these principles, individuals can transform their lives and careers, achieving levels of success and fulfillment they may have previously thought impossible. Ultimately, the message of high performance habits is one of empowerment. It suggests that extraordinary achievement is within reach for anyone willing to commit to these practices consistently. As Burchard writes, sustainable excellence honors potential through daily choices, not grand gestures. This framework offers a path to unlocking that potential, one habit at a time. Here's the raw truth. High performance isn't reserved for prodigies or workaholics. It's a choice, a series of battles fought daily in the milliseconds between what's easy and what matters. Brendan Burchard proved it. 4.3 times more goal achievement, 68% deeper fulfillment. A system forged in labs and boardrooms, now yours to wield. The nurse rewriting hospital culture. The CEO who turned $25,000 losses into 200% gains. They're not superhuman. They simply weaponized 6 habits that hijack your biology to crave growth. Habits that turn stress into strategy, fear into fuel, and average into extraordinary. So ask yourself, what legacy lives in your daily choices? Will you keep letting your brain's addiction to comfort dictate your life? Or will you start engineering your days with the precision of an Olympian the purpose of a visionary, and the grit of someone who knows their time here is finite. The HP6 code is cracked. The tools are yours. Now, go rewrite your operating system, because in 12 months you'll wish you'd started today. And when they ask how you transformed, tell them you finally stopped chasing success and started building systems that force it to chase you. What if everything society told you about happiness was backwards? Imagine being sold a dream that the more you chase positivity, the more fulfilled you'll feel, only to find yourself exhausted, disappointed, and stuck in a loop of perpetual dissatisfaction. This is where the subtle art of not giving a key begins, by tearing apart the glossy facade of modern self-help culture. Mark Manson doesn't coddle you with platitudes about good vibes only or relentless optimism. Instead, he delivers a raw, unflinching truth that our obsession with feeling good all the time is precisely what's making us miserable. At the heart of Manson's argument is a simple but revolutionary idea. Life isn't about avoiding pain, it's about choosing the right pain. While most self-help gurus preach escapism, meditate your worries away, visualize success, erase negative thoughts, Manson flips the script. He introduces the backwards law, a concept borrowed from philosopher Alan Watts, which reveals the cruel irony of human desire. The more you try to feel happy, the more you amplify your awareness of unhappiness. Picture someone desperately clinging to a failing relationship, or a workaholic chasing promotion after promotion, only to collapse under the weight of their own expectations. Manson shows how this endless pursuit of positivity becomes its own prison, trapping us in cycles of anxiety and self-doubt. But here's the liberating twist. When you stop fighting life's inherent struggles, you unlock a deeper kind of fulfillment. Manson argues that true contentment isn't found in the absence of problems, but in the embrace of meaningful ones. Think of it like leveling up in a video game. Each challenge you conquer prepares you for the next, building resilience and purpose along the way. This isn't about settling for mediocrity. It's about redirecting your energy toward what truly matters. By the end, you'll understand why Manson's message has resonated with millions. Sometimes caring less about the trivial stuff is the key to living more. The subtle art of not giving a fuck, a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. By Mark Manson. Introduction. Redefining happiness and the pursuit of positivity. Mark Manson's The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck begins by dismantling the modern obsession with relentless positivity. Unlike traditional self-help books that preach affirmations and good vibes only, Manson argues that our cultural fixation on happiness is fundamentally flawed. He posits that the more we chase euphoric states, the more we reinforce dissatisfaction, creating a paradoxical cycle where the pursuit of positivity becomes its own burden. This introduction sets the stage for a radical idea. True contentment isn't found in avoiding pain, but in embracing life's inherent struggles. Manson challenges readers to redefine their relationship with adversity, framing it not as an obstacle but as a necessary ingredient for growth. Manson draws on philosophical roots, particularly the work of Alan Watts, to introduce the backwards law, a concept that suggests the more we try to feel happy, the more we amplify our awareness of unhappiness. For instance, someone fixated on maintaining a perfect relationship may inadvertently magnify minor conflicts, while a professional chasing constant success might spiral into burnout. By rejecting the notion that life should feel good all the time, Manson invites readers to confront uncomfortable truths about mediocrity, mortality, and responsibility. His irreverent tone, punctuated with profanity and dark humor, serves as a wake-up call to those exhausted by sanitized self-help advice. Critics have praised the book's raw honesty, though some argue its casual style risks oversimplifying complex psychological concepts. Yet Manson's core message resonates universally. Fulfillment stems not from avoiding problems, but from choosing which problems are worth solving. This reframing shifts the focus from chasing an idealized life to cultivating resilience through purposeful struggle. The backwards law, the paradox of pursuit. At the heart of Manson's philosophy lies the backwards law, a principle that exposes the futility of chasing positivity. Manson illustrates this paradox with relatable scenarios. The college graduate who equates career prestige with happiness only to feel empty upon achievement, or the social media user whose quest for validation through likes breeds insecurity. The law posits that acceptance of discomfort, financial stress, rejection, failure, is the true path to peace. By resisting the urge to fix negative emotions, we disarm their power over us. Manson extends this idea to modern culture's obsession with self-esteem. He critiques the "everyone gets a trophy" mentality, arguing that unwarranted praise fosters entitlement rather than genuine confidence. For example, a student praised for minimal effort may struggle to persist through academic challenges, while an athlete who embraces rigorous training develops resilience. Manson emphasizes that self-worth must be earned through action, not bestowed through hollow validation. This requires confronting our limitations, whether in relationships, careers, or personal habits, and seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than flaws to hide. The backwards law also challenges societal narratives around success. Manson points to historical figures like Thomas Edison and J.K. Rowling, whose early failures became stepping stones to achievement. By reframing setbacks as feedback, we transform fear of failure into curiosity. This mindset shift is particularly vital in the age of social media, where curated perfection masks universal struggles. Manson's message is clear. Embracing life's inherent messiness liberates us from comparison and fuels authentic progress. Happiness is a problem, the necessity of struggle. Manson dismantles the myth of perpetual happiness, asserting that joy emerges not from avoiding problems, but from solving meaningful ones. He likens life to a video game. Each level introduces new challenges, and mastery lies in embracing the grind. Avoiding difficulties, whether a toxic job or a strained friendship, only defers suffering. For instance, staying in an unfulfilling career to avoid financial instability often leads to deeper regret. Manson urges readers to upgrade their problems by pursuing challenges aligned with their values, such as trading workplace drudgery for entrepreneurial risks. The book delves into the biological purpose of negative emotions. Anxiety signals unmet needs, while anger often highlights boundary violations. Manson shares personal anecdotes, like his early failures as a blogger, to illustrate how listening to these emotional cues, rather than numbing them with distractions, builds self-awareness. He critiques modern comforts for disconnecting us from pain's evolutionary role, which once drove survival. Reconnecting with purposeful struggle, whether through fitness goals or creative projects, reinstates meaning in an age of instant gratification. This chapter also confronts societal conditioning that equates suffering with failure. Manson argues that a problem-free life is not only impossible, but undesirable. He cites studies on post-traumatic growth, showing how adversity often catalyzes profound personal transformation. The key takeaway: happiness isn't a destination but a side effect of engaging with life's inevitable challenges. You are not special. The liberation of mediocrity. Manson challenges the cultural obsession with exceptionalism, arguing that the pressure to be extraordinary fuels anxiety and narcissism. He cites research linking inflated self-esteem to poorer mental health, particularly when unearned. By accepting our inherent averageness, most of us won't become CEOs or celebrities. We free ourselves from unrealistic expectations. This isn't a call for complacency, but a plea to focus on incremental growth within our control. The chapter critiques victimhood chic, where individuals weaponize past trauma to evade responsibility. Manson shares stories of clients who blamed childhood hardships for adult stagnation, illustrating how this mindset perpetuates helplessness. Conversely, those who acknowledge their pain while taking ownership of their responses, like a cancer survivor building a support network, model resilience. Manson also addresses relationships, arguing that the soulmate myth sets unrealistic standards while accepting a partner's flaws fosters deeper connection. Manson's critique extends to modern parenting and education systems that prioritize self-esteem over competence. He advocates for anti-goals, identifying what you're willing to suck at, to conserve energy for domains where excellence matters. This pragmatic approach to self-worth, valuing effort over innate talent, aligns with psychologist Carol Dweck's research on growth mindsets. The value of suffering, choosing your struggles. Manson posits that suffering is inevitable but not indiscriminate. The key is to choose what you're willing to suffer for. A musician enduring grueling practice sessions does so because the joy of mastery outweighs the pain. This framework transforms suffering from a passive experience to an active investment. Manson contrasts healthy suffering, e.g., marathon training, with unhealthy suffering, e.g., staying in an abusive relationship, urging readers to audit their struggles. The book highlights how avoidance strategies, like substance abuse or workaholism, exacerbate pain. Manson shares a friend's battle with addiction, detailing how confronting underlying trauma, not numbing it, led to recovery. Similarly, societal efforts to eliminate discomfort, e.g., helicopter parenting, often backfire, depriving individuals of resilience-building challenges. This chapter also explores existential suffering, such as grappling with mortality. Manson posits that death awareness, while unsettling, clarifies priorities. A terminal diagnosis patient focusing on family over career exemplifies this. By aligning struggles with core values, suffering becomes a compass guiding us toward what truly matters. You are always choosing. The power of responsibility. Manson asserts that even inaction is a choice, and shirking responsibility perpetuates victimhood. He illustrates this with a client who blamed her unhappy marriage on her spouse, refusing to acknowledge her decision to stay. Until she accepted her agency to either work on the relationship or leave, she remained stuck. Manson distinguishes fault from responsibility. While we aren't always to blame for our circumstances, we're responsible for our responses. The chapter critiques deterministic thinking, such as attributing behavior solely to genetics or upbringing. Manson cites Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, noting how Holocaust survivors found purpose amid unimaginable horror. This extreme example underscores that agency exists even in limited control. Manson also addresses societal scapegoating, like blaming economic hardship on immigrants. By taking responsibility, upskilling, budgeting, individuals regain power. This theme extends to global issues. Climate action begins with personal accountability, not waiting for governments. Manson's message is clear. Ownership of our choices, however small, is the foundation of empowerment. Failure is the way forward, the do something principle. Manson reframes failure as essential for growth, asserting that mastery requires thousands of tiny failures. He shares his own writing process, where discarded drafts and harsh feedback honed his voice. The do something principle, action fuels motivation, not vice versa, is illustrated through a depressed client who alleviated symptoms by committing to daily walks, however brief. The chapter critiques perfectionism, using startups as an example. Those launching imperfect products and iterating based on feedback outperform rivals waiting for readiness. Manson also explores societal fear of failure, linking it to shame avoidance. By celebrating effort over outcomes, like a child praised for persistence in math, not grades, we cultivate resilience. This section underscores that failure's inevitability makes it a teacher, not a threat. Embracing this mindset reduces anxiety, freeing energy for experimentation. Manson urges readers to fail upward, viewing each misstep as data guiding future decisions. The importance of saying no, boundaries and integrity. Manson champions selective commitment, arguing that every yes necessitates a no. He shares an entrepreneur's downfall after overextending, contrasting it with a colleague who thrived by focusing on core strengths. Boundaries, Manson asserts, protect values. Whether declining a lucrative project misaligned with ethics or ending a toxic friendship. The chapter examines societal pressure to please, exemplified by nice guys who repress needs to avoid conflict. Manson ties this to insecurity, noting that self-assured individuals prioritize integrity over universal approval. He advocates for negative visualization, imagining worst-case scenarios of saying no to reduce fear. Ultimately, rejection clarifies priorities. A writer declining superficial networking events to focus on craft exemplifies this. By valuing depth over breadth, we cultivate meaningful engagement. Manson's advice echoes Warren Buffett's 25-5 rule. Focus intensely on 5 critical goals and ignore the rest. Contemplating death, mortality as a clarifying force. Manson posits that death awareness, while morbid, sharpens focus on what matters. He shares a near-death experience that prompted him to quit a lucrative but unfulfilling job. This existential urgency counters procrastination, urging alignment between actions and legacy. The chapter critiques immortality projects, obsessions with fame or wealth to cheat death. Manson argues these pursuits often neglect present joy. Instead, he advocates for negative immortality, living so fully that death's inevitability feels acceptable. Examples include a dying teacher prioritizing mentorship over treatments and a retiree finding purpose in volunteering. By accepting mortality, we shed trivial concerns, channeling energy into lasting impact. Manson's message aligns with Stoic philosophy, memento mori, remember you must die, as a tool for mindful living. Practical applications. Living the subtle art. Manson concludes with actionable steps, defining process-oriented values, e.g., curiosity over accolades, practicing radical honesty, and embracing uncertainty. He illustrates this with a manager fostering team trust through vulnerability and a student improving grades via consistent study over cramming. The book's enduring relevance lies in its call to reject superficial metrics, likes, titles, income, for intrinsic fulfillment. By applying these principles, readers craft lives of purpose, resilience, and authentic joy. Manson's final challenge. What pain do you want in your life? What are you willing to struggle for? The answer, he argues, defines your destiny. So here's the brutal, beautiful truth Mark Manson leaves us with. Life isn't about avoiding storms, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Every day you're choosing what to care about, whether you admit it or not. You can keep chasing shiny distractions, numbing discomfort with likes and lattes, or you can plant your flag in the dirt of what truly matters. The subtle art isn't apathy, it's alignment. It's staring mortality in the face and deciding, this is worth my sweat, this is worth my scars. Remember, greatness isn't found in perfection. It's forged in the messy middle, the failed startups, the awkward conversations, the days you show up even when motivation's gone AWOL. Manson's message isn't a free pass to quit. It's a battle cry to fight smarter, to stop caring about fitting in and start caring about showing up for yourself, for your people, for the work that lights your soul on fire. So ask yourself tonight, what pain do I want? What hill am I willing to die on? Because here's the secret no one tells you. Your best life isn't waiting on the other side of someday. It's buried in the grit of today. The world needs fewer perfect Instagrams and more imperfect humans daring to give a damn about something real. Be one of them. If this resonated, smash that subscribe button, not for me, but for the version of you that's ready to stop chasing butterflies and start building gardens. Drop a comment below. What's one thing you're committing to care more about this week? Let's turn not giving a fuck into giving all the fucks that matter. Until next time, stay uncomfortably alive. The Diary of a CEO. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of extraordinary success? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the game-changing wisdom of The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. This isn't just another business book. It's a blueprint for domination in both your personal and professional life. In the next 15 minutes, I'll reveal 33 powerful laws that have propelled Bartlett from a college dropout to a multimillionaire tech entrepreneur before the age of 30. These aren't just theories. They're battle-tested strategies drawn from Bartlett's own meteoric rise and his in-depth interviews with some of the world's most influential leaders. We'll explore 4 essential pillars that form the foundation of unstoppable success. 1. The self. Master your mind and unlock your true potential. 2. The story. Harness the power of narrative to influence and inspire. 3. The philosophy. Develop a bulletproof mindset for long-term victory. 4. The team. Build and lead a world-class organization. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur, a seasoned CEO, or simply someone hungry for personal growth, these 33 laws will revolutionize the way you think, act, and achieve. So let's cut through the noise and get straight to the strategies that separate the extraordinary from the average. Your journey to the top starts now. Pillar 1. The self. Law 1. Fill your 5 buckets in the right order. Bartlett introduces 5 interconnected buckets representing your professional potential. 1. Knowledge. 2. Skills. 3. Network. 4. Resources. 5. Reputation. The key is to fill these buckets in the correct order, starting with knowledge as the foundation. This knowledge can then be transformed into skills, which help you build your network, acquire resources, and establish your reputation. By focusing on knowledge first, you create a solid base for all future growth. Law 2. To master it, you must teach it. One of the most effective ways to solidify your knowledge and skills is to teach them to others. This creates an obligation to learn more deeply and thoroughly, enhancing your own mastery in the process. When you teach, you're forced to organize your thoughts, anticipate questions, and fill gaps in your understanding. This process not only reinforces your own learning, but also helps you discover new insights and perspectives. Law 3. You are what you consume. Your inputs significantly influence your outputs. Be mindful of the content you consume and the people you surround yourself with. The information you take in shapes your thoughts, beliefs, and ultimately, your actions. Bartlett emphasizes the importance of curating your information diet, seeking out high-quality sources, and surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire and challenge you to grow. Law 4. The coherence breath. Bartlett introduces a specific breathing technique to enhance focus and access higher states of consciousness. This technique involves controlled breathing patterns that help synchronize your heart rate with your breath, leading to improved mental clarity and emotional regulation. Regular practice of this technique can help you manage stress, improve decision-making, and increase overall well-being. Law 5. Mental rehearsal. Consistently visualize your desired future to align your thoughts and actions with your goals. This practice involves vividly imagining yourself successfully achieving your objectives. By repeatedly engaging in this mental rehearsal, you're training your brain to recognize opportunities and take actions aligned with your goals. This technique has been used by top athletes and business leaders to enhance performance and increase the likelihood of success. Law 6. Ask, don't tell. The question-judge behavior effect. Frame ideas as questions rather than statements to influence behavior more effectively. By asking questions instead of making declarative statements, you engage others in the thought process and encourage them to reach their own conclusions. This approach can be more persuasive and lead to greater buy-in from team members or clients. Law 7. The walking meditation. A technique for integrating new states of being into daily life. This practice involves combining mindful walking with focused thought or meditation. It allows you to incorporate moments of reflection and mindfulness into your day, even when you're on the move. This can lead to increased creativity, problem-solving abilities, and overall mental well-being. Law 8. Never fight a bad habit. Replace bad habits with positive ones instead of trying to eliminate them through willpower alone. Bartlett argues that it's more effective to focus on building new, positive habits rather than solely trying to break negative ones. By creating new routines and behaviors that fulfill the same needs as the bad habits, you can more easily and sustainably change your behavior. Law 9. Become emotionally self-sufficient. Develop the ability to regulate your emotions and find fulfillment within yourself. This law emphasizes the importance of not relying on external validation or circumstances for your emotional well-being. By cultivating emotional self-sufficiency, you become more resilient in the face of challenges and less susceptible to manipulation or external pressures. Pillar 2. The story. Law 10. Useless absurdity will define you, more than useful practicalities. Create memorable, even unconventional characteristics that make you stand out. Bartlett suggests that often it's the unique, seemingly impractical aspects of a person or brand that become most memorable and defining. Embracing and showcasing these distinctive traits can help you differentiate yourself in a crowded market or professional landscape. Law 11. Turn your obstacles into allies. Reframe challenges as opportunities for growth and storytelling. This law encourages you to view obstacles not as roadblocks, but as potential advantages. By changing your perspective on difficulties, you can find innovative solutions and create compelling narratives about overcoming adversity. Law 12. Create your own mythology. Craft a compelling personal narrative that resonates with others. This involves shaping your life experiences and values into a cohesive story that explains who you are, what you stand for, and why you do what you do. A well-crafted personal mythology can inspire others and create a strong emotional connection with your audience or customers. Law 13. The power of vulnerability. Share your struggles and weaknesses to build authentic connections. Bartlett emphasizes that showing vulnerability can actually strengthen your relationships and leadership. By being open about your challenges and imperfections, you become more relatable and trustworthy to others. Law 14. The spotlight effect. Understand that others are less focused on you than you think, allowing you to act more freely. This psychological insight reminds us that we often overestimate how much attention others are paying to our actions and appearance. Recognizing this can liberate you from unnecessary self-consciousness and empower you to take bolder actions. Law 15. The frame matters more than the picture. How you present information can significantly impact how it's received and interpreted. This law highlights the importance of context and framing in communication. The way you structure and present your ideas can be just as important, if not more so, than the content itself. Law 16. The mere exposure effect. Familiarity breeds liking. Consistently expose others to your ideas or brand. This psychological principle suggests that people tend to develop a preference for things merely because they are familiar with them. In business and personal branding, this means that consistent, repeated exposure to your message or presence can increase positive associations over time. Law 17. Let them try and they will buy. Allow potential customers or partners to experience your product or service firsthand. This law emphasizes the power of direct experience in decision-making. By providing opportunities for people to try what you're offering, you can create a stronger connection and increase the likelihood of conversion or buy-in. Law 18. The halo effect. Leverage positive associations to enhance perceptions of your brand or ideas. This cognitive bias suggests that positive impressions in one area can influence overall perception. By cultivating strong positive associations in key areas, you can create a more favorable overall impression of your brand or personal image. Pillar 3. The philosophy. Law 19. You are supernatural by nature. Recognize and tap into your innate potential for extraordinary achievements. Bartlett encourages readers to acknowledge their inherent capabilities and push beyond perceived limitations. This mindset shift can unlock greater levels of performance and innovation. Law 20. The observer effect. Understand that the act of observation can influence outcomes in both quantum physics and human behavior. This principle reminds us that our attention and expectations can shape reality. In leadership and personal development, being aware of how your observations and attitudes affect situations can help you create more positive outcomes. Law 21. You must outfail the competition. Embrace failure as a path to knowledge and success. Create a culture that encourages experimentation and learning from mistakes. Bartlett argues that the ability to fail faster and learn quicker than your competitors is a key advantage in business and personal growth. Law 22. You must become a Plan A thinker. Focus all your energy on your primary goal, eliminating backup plans to increase motivation and chances of success. This approach encourages full commitment to your main objective, arguing that having fallback options can dilute your efforts and determination. Law 23. The power of negative manifestation. Visualize negative outcomes to anticipate and prepare for potential obstacles. While positive thinking is important, Bartlett suggests that considering potential failures can help you better prepare and create more robust strategies. Law 24. The Pygmalion effect. High expectations lead to improved performance. Set ambitious goals for yourself and your team. This psychological phenomenon suggests that people tend to perform in accordance with the expectations placed upon them. By setting high standards, you can encourage greater achievement. Law 25. The Pareto Principle, 80-20 Rule. Focus on the 20% of efforts that yield 80% of results. This principle encourages identifying and prioritizing the most impactful activities in your work and life, maximizing efficiency and effectiveness. Law 26. Inversion thinking. Approach problems by considering what you want to avoid, not just what you want to achieve. This strategy involves thinking backwards from worst-case scenarios to identify potential pitfalls and develop more comprehensive solutions. Law 27. The Paradox of Choice. Limit options to reduce decision fatigue and increase satisfaction. Bartlett argues that too many choices can lead to analysis, paralysis, and decreased satisfaction with decisions. Streamlining options can lead to clearer thinking and more confident decision-making. Pillar 4. The Team. Law 28. Ask who, not how. Focus on finding the right people to solve problems rather than trying to do everything yourself. This law emphasizes the importance of building a strong team and leveraging diverse skills and perspectives to overcome challenges. Law 29. Create a cult mentality. Foster a strong sense of community, purpose, and shared vision within your organization. Bartlett suggests that creating a deeply committed, almost cult-like culture can drive extraordinary performance and loyalty. Law 30. The 3 bars for building great teams. Evaluate team members based on whether they 1. Elevate the team. 2. Maintain the team's current level. 3. Bring the team down. This framework helps in making decisions about hiring, firing, and team composition, ensuring that every member contributes positively to the team's overall performance. Law 31. The Law of Diffusion of Innovation. Understand how ideas spread and target early adopters to gain momentum. This concept, borrowed from marketing theory, can be applied to implementing new ideas or products within an organization or market. Law 32. The Network Effect. Build systems where the value increases as more people use them. This principle is particularly relevant in the digital age, where platforms and products often become more valuable as their user base grows. Law 33. The Infinite Game. Adopt a long-term mindset focused on perpetual growth and adaptation rather than short-term wins. This final law encourages thinking beyond immediate goals to create sustainable success and continuous improvement. Conclusion. As we conclude this journey through The Diary of a CEO, it's clear that these 33 laws aren't just business strategies. They're a roadmap to unlocking your extraordinary potential. Stephen Bartlett has distilled years of hard-won wisdom into a powerful framework that can transform not just your career, but your entire life. Remember, success isn't about following a rigid set of rules. It's about finding the principles that resonate with you and applying them relentlessly. Which of these laws sparked a fire in your mind? Was it the power of storytelling, the importance of embracing failure, or perhaps the art of building an unstoppable team? The beauty of Bartlett's approach is its versatility. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, these laws can be your secret weapon. They're not just theories. They're proven strategies that have catapulted individuals from obscurity to industry leadership. As you leave this video, I challenge you to take action. Choose one law that spoke to you and implement it in your life this week. Remember Bartlett's words, "You are supernatural by nature, and you are that powerful." The only limit to your potential is the one you place on yourself. This is more than just a book summary. It's an invitation to rewrite your story, to push beyond what you thought was possible, and to join the ranks of the truly extraordinary. Now, I have a challenge for you. If these 33 laws have ignited a spark in you, it's time to fan that flame into a roaring fire. Here's what I want you to do right now. First, smash that like button. It's not just a click, it's your vote for success, your commitment to excellence. When you hit like, you're telling the world you're ready to level up. Next, drop a comment with the law that hit you hardest. Was it Law 21 about outfailing the competition? Or maybe Law 29 on creating a cult mentality? Share your thoughts. Your insight might be the breakthrough someone else needs. Now, here's where it gets serious. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Why? Because this is just the beginning. We're building an army of extraordinary achievers, and I want you on the front lines when the next video drops. But don't stop there. Look to your left. Look to your right. Is there someone in your life who needs to hear this message? Someone with untapped potential? Share this video with them. You might just change their life. Remember, in a world of ordinary, you've chosen to be extraordinary. Every like, comment, and share is a step towards that goal. So take action now. Your future self will thank you. Let's dominate together. The clock starts now. Imagine a place where turquoise waves kiss sunlit shores, where misty mountains cradle villages untouched by time. Here, in the heart of Okinawa, Japan, the world's longest living people rise each morning with a quiet fire in their hearts, a reason to leap from bed, to savor the day, to live. They call it Ikigai, the secret to a life that doesn't just endure but glows. What if I told you that buried within your daily routines, your struggles, your quietest joys, lies a hidden compass, a purpose so powerful it could add decades to your life? A purpose that transforms ordinary moments into poetry, that turns aging into an art. For centuries, Okinawa's centenarians have guarded this secret, weaving it into their meals, their friendships, their rituals. Today, we unravel the mystery. This is not just a story about living longer. It's about rediscovering what it means to truly live, to wake up thrilled by the sheer gift of breath, to dance with time, not fight it, to find magic in a teacup, resilience in a storm, and immortality in a single well-lived day. So slow down, breathe, let the noise of the world fade. For our time together, we'll wander together through lush gardens of wisdom, cross bridges woven by ancestors, and sit at the feet of those who've mastered the art of joy. Ready to meet your Ikigai? Let's begin. Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, by Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles. Section 1. The Essence of Ikigai and Okinawan Longevity. The Japanese concept of Ikigai, translated as a reason for being, lies at the heart of a fulfilling and long life. Rooted in the traditions of Okinawa, one of the world's 5 blue zones where people live exceptionally long lives, Ikigai represents the intersection of passion, mission, vocation, and profession. The authors, Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles, journeyed to this island to study its centenarians, uncovering how a sense of purpose intertwines with daily habits to foster longevity. Okinawans don't merely live longer, they thrive, maintaining physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional resilience well into their hundreds. Central to their philosophy is the idea that everyone has an Ikigai, though discovering it requires introspection and patience. Unlike Western notions of grand life purposes, Ikigai is often found in simple, everyday joys: tending a garden, sharing meals with loved ones, or practicing a craft. For Okinawans, this purpose is not a static goal, but a dynamic force that evolves with life's seasons. It's the reason they rise each morning, infusing even mundane tasks with meaning. The Okinawan lifestyle offers practical lessons. Their diet, rich in vegetables, tofu, and fish, is complemented by the principle of hara hachibu, eating until 80% full. Physical activity is woven into daily routines, from walking to farming, avoiding the sedentary habits prevalent in modern societies. Yet beyond diet and exercise, their strong social bonds, such as moai, lifelong friend groups, create a safety net of emotional support. These elements, combined with a stress-minimizing outlook, form the foundation of their longevity. At its core, Ikigai is not just about living longer, but living better. It challenges the modern obsession with productivity, urging individuals to slow down and savor life's fleeting moments. By aligning actions with intrinsic values, Okinawans demonstrate that a life of purpose is inherently a life of joy. Section 2. The 4 Pillars of Ikigai. Ikigai emerges where 4 fundamental elements converge: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be compensated for. This framework, popularized in Western interpretations through a Venn diagram, provides a roadmap for aligning one's daily life with deeper fulfillment. However, the authors emphasize that Ikigai is less about financial gain and more about harmony between personal passion and communal contribution. The first pillar, what you love, speaks to activities that ignite joy and curiosity. For Okinawan elders, this might be pottery, storytelling, or gardening. The second pillar, what you're good at, involves honing skills over time, whether through craftsmanship or caregiving. Mastery here is not about perfection but dedication, as seen in Japan's shokunin spirit, where artisans devote lifetimes to refining their trades. What the world needs shifts focus outward, connecting individual gifts to collective well-being. Many Okinawans describe their Ikigai as roles within their families or communities, such as teaching traditions or nurturing younger generations. Finally, what you can be paid for acknowledges practical sustainability, though the authors note that in traditional Japanese contexts, financial reward is secondary to intrinsic satisfaction. This framework is fluid, not prescriptive. A teacher might find Ikigai in educating students, love and skill, fostering societal growth, world's needs, and earning a livelihood, compensation. Yet, a retiree's Ikigai could simply be sharing wisdom with grandchildren, devoid of monetary gain. The key is balancing these elements without forcing alignment, allowing purpose to emerge organically. Critically, Ikigai rejects the notion of a single, true calling. It accommodates multiple passions and adapts as circumstances change. A woman might find Ikigai in motherhood, later in mentoring, and finally in preserving cultural heritage. This flexibility prevents stagnation, inviting continual growth while anchoring life in meaning. Section 3. The flow state, where Ikigai thrives. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow, a state of immersive focus where time dissolves, is integral to sustaining Ikigai. The authors argue that flow is not just a productivity tool, but a gateway to longevity. Okinawans frequently enter this state through activities like fishing, cooking, or practicing martial arts, which demand presence and skill. Flow arises when challenges match abilities, creating a sweet spot between boredom and anxiety. For example, an Okinawan potter might lose herself for hours shaping clay, her hands guided by decades of muscle memory. This absorption fosters mental clarity and reduces stress, counteracting the hormonal wear and tear of chronic worry. The book highlights practical strategies for cultivating flow. First, identify activities that naturally engage you, whether painting, writing, or gardening. Second, set incremental goals to maintain challenge without overwhelm. Third, eliminate distractions, a lesson mirrored in Japan's minimalist aesthetics. By carving out uninterrupted time, individuals create space for deep engagement. Flow also reinforces Ikigai by linking action to purpose. A chef in flow isn't just cooking, he's preserving family recipes, nourishing his community, and expressing creativity. This alignment between doing and being transforms routine tasks into acts of meaning, proving that Ikigai flourishes not in grand achievements, but in mindful moments. Section 4. Resilience. Weathering life's storms. Longevity isn't immune to adversity, but Okinawans exemplify resilience. Their secret lies in acceptance, a principle drawn from both Buddhism and Stoicism. Rather than resisting hardship, they focus on controllable aspects, channeling energy into solutions. This mindset reduces the emotional toll of stress, a known accelerator of aging. The authors explore Morita therapy, a Japanese practice emphasizing action over rumination. Patients are taught to acknowledge anxieties without letting them dictate behavior. For instance, a farmer worried about typhoons might prepare his fields while accepting the unpredictability of weather. This balance of effort and surrender fosters resilience. Community plays a vital role. Okinawans rely on uimaaru, a tradition of mutual aid, ensuring no one faces hardship alone. After World War II's devastation, this collective spirit enabled rebuilding with shared labor and resources. Such social bonds buffer against isolation, a key factor in premature mortality. Resilience is also cultivated through Ikigai itself. A clear sense of purpose provides motivation to persevere. An Okinawan elder recovering from illness might draw strength from her role as a family matriarch, reaffirming her value to loved ones. This forward-looking perspective, rooted in Ikigai, transforms survival into thriving. Section 5. Mindfulness and the art of presence. Okinawan longevity is deeply tied to mindfulness, though the term itself is seldom used. Instead, practices like Ichigo Ichi, treasuring unrepeatable moments, permeate daily life. Whether sipping tea or chatting with friends, Okinawans approach each interaction as a once-in-a-lifetime event, infusing ordinariness with reverence. The philosophy of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection, complements this. Cracked pottery, weathered hands, or a fading sunset are celebrated as testaments to life's transient nature. By releasing the pursuit of perfection, individuals reduce self-criticism and embrace authenticity, a cornerstone of mental well-being. Mindfulness also manifests in physical rituals. The Okinawan practice of rokyo, stretching and breathing exercises, starts each day with intentional movement. Similarly, meals are eaten slowly, savoring flavors and expressing gratitude. These habits anchor individuals in the present, counteracting the anxiety of past regrets or future worries. The authors contrast this with modern multitasking, which fragments attention and heightens stress. They advocate for monotasking, whether knitting, cooking, or walking, to cultivate presence. By mindfully engaging the senses, individuals reconnect with their Ikigai, transforming daily routines into meditative acts. Section 6. Nourishment. The Okinawan diet. Diet is a pillar of Okinawan longevity, characterized by moderation and nutrient density. Staples like purple sweet potatoes, bitter melon, goya, and tofu provide antioxidants, fiber, and plant-based proteins. Seafood, consumed in moderation, offers omega-3 fatty acids, while pork, eaten rarely, is prepared slowly to reduce fat. The principle of hara hachi bu, eating until 80% full, prevents overeating, aligning with research on caloric restriction and longevity. This practice isn't about deprivation, but attunement to the body's signals, a skill honed over decades. Meals are shared communally, enhancing digestion and emotional satisfaction. Herbal teas like jasmine and turmeric feature prominently, offering anti-inflammatory benefits. Okinawans also consume shiitake mushrooms and seaweed, rich in vitamins and minerals. These choices reflect a diet low in processed sugars and high in phytonutrients, mitigating chronic diseases like diabetes and heart conditions. Yet the Okinawan diet transcends nutrition. Food is a conduit for connection, prepared with care, shared with love, and imbued with cultural heritage. A grandmother's soup recipe becomes a vessel for storytelling, intertwining sustenance with Ikigai. This holistic view of nourishment sustains both body and soul. Section 7. Community. The fabric of longevity. Okinawan society thrives on interdependence. The concept of moai, lifelong social networks, provides emotional and financial support. Originating as village savings clubs, moais evolved into emotional safety nets, ensuring no member faces life's challenges alone. Regular gatherings foster camaraderie, reducing loneliness, a silent killer linked to shorter lifespans. Elders remain integrated into community life, mentoring younger generations and preserving traditions. This intergenerational exchange instills a sense of belonging and purpose, critical for mental health. Unlike cultures that marginalize the elderly, Okinawans celebrate their wisdom, reinforcing their ikigai through roles as storytellers and advisors. Community rituals, from harvest festivals to tea ceremonies, strengthen collective identity. These events are not mere traditions, but acts of shared ikigai, where individuals contribute their talents for communal joy. A musician's performance or a cook's feast becomes a thread in the social fabric, weaving individual purpose into collective meaning. The authors contrast this with urban isolation, where digital connections often replace deep relationships. They advocate for investing in local communities, joining clubs, volunteering, or simply sharing meals to replicate the Okinawan model. In doing so, individuals find Ikigai not just within themselves, but through others. Section 8. Philosophical Foundations, Logotherapy and Morita Therapy. The book bridges Eastern and Western philosophies, notably Viktor Frankl's logotherapy and Japan's Morita therapy. Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, argued that finding meaning in suffering is essential for resilience. Similarly, Okinawans derive purpose from adversity, whether rebuilding post-war or caring for ailing spouses. Morita therapy, developed by Shoma Morita, emphasizes accepting emotions without letting them control actions. A fisherman afraid of storms might acknowledge his fear but still set sail, focusing on the task rather than the anxiety. This aligns with Okinawan pragmatism, doing as a path to being. Both philosophies reject the pursuit of constant happiness, instead advocating for purposeful action. Frankl's will to meaning and Morita's action-first approach resonate with Ikigai's emphasis on forward momentum. By focusing on contributions rather than moods, individuals build resilience and sustain motivation. The authors stress that Ikigai is not found through introspection alone, but through engagement. A painter might discover her purpose not by pondering, but by painting, iterating through trial and error. This interplay of thought and action mirrors the synergy between logotherapy's meaning-seeking and Morita's behavior-focused healing. Section 9. Cultural Wisdom, wabi-sabi, and ichigo-ichi-e. Wabi-sabi, the art of embracing imperfection, permeates Okinawan life. Cracked teacups, weathered wood, and aging bodies are revered as symbols of authenticity. This aesthetic philosophy teaches that beauty lies in transience, easing the fear of decline and fostering gratitude for the present. Ichigo-ichi-e, one time, one meeting, elevates mundane interactions into sacred encounters. A conversation with a friend or a walk in the park is treated as irreplaceable, deepening appreciation for life's ephemerality. This mindset combats the modern rush, encouraging slower, more intentional living. Together, these principles cultivate contentment. By releasing the need for control and perfection, individuals reduce stress, a key to longevity. A gardener practicing wabi-sabi finds joy in crooked blooms, while a host embodying ichigo-ichi-e cherishes laughter around a dinner table, however imperfect the meal. The authors link these concepts to Ikigai by illustrating how presence and acceptance amplify purpose. When life's imperfections are embraced, energy shifts from frustration to gratitude, creating a fertile ground for Ikigai to flourish. Section 10. Discovering your Ikigai. A lifelong journey. Finding Ikigai is not a destination but a process. The authors suggest starting with self-reflection. What activities make you lose track of time? What skills do others praise? What causes stir your passion? Journaling these insights can reveal patterns pointing to your Ikigai. Experimentation is crucial. Trying new hobbies, volunteering or shadowing mentors exposes hidden passions. An accountant might discover a love for teaching by tutoring math, unveiling an Ikigai in education. The key is to remain open and patient, trusting that purpose unfolds with time. Community feedback helps refine Ikigai. Sharing your talents and observing their impact provides clarity. A baker whose bread brings neighbors joy might realize her Ikigai lies in nurturing. Through food, transforming a skill into a mission. Ultimately, Ikigai requires nurturing. Like a garden, it thrives with attention but wilts under neglect. Regular reflection, mindful action, and community engagement keep it alive. As the Okinawans show, a life rooted in Ikigai is not just long or happy, it's profoundly meaningful. As the sun dips below Okinawa's horizon, painting the sky in hues of amber and violet, the elders here gather to share stories, not of empires built or fortunes won, but of mornings savoured, hands held, and laughter that outlives the years. This is the whisper of Ikigai, not a roaring flame, but a gentle, unshakable glow that turns ordinary lives into legends. You carry this light within you. It's in the hobby you've neglected, the dream you've postponed, the quiet act of kindness you brush off as just being you. Today we've wandered through gardens of wisdom, but the truest lesson is this. Your Ikigai isn't hidden. It's waiting in your hands, your heart, the rhythm of your breath. So ask yourself tonight, as stars pepper the sky, what makes your soul lean forward? What flicker of joy could you fan into a lifelong fire? Don't chase answers. Let them find you, in a steamy cup of tea, a walk with no destination, or the courage to say yes to what truly matters. The world will rush on. Let it. You now know the secret. Time isn't your enemy, but your ally. Every sunrise is an invitation to weave purpose into the mundane, to build a life where old age isn't feared but revered. The Okinawans have shown us how. Now, it's your turn. Thank you for wandering this path with me. If this journey stirred something in you, share it with someone who needs reminding that life isn't a race, but a song. And yours? It's worth singing slowly.